need to be hot and crispy, or we'll replace them. We're talking natural cut, skin-on fries, perfectly seasoned with a hint of sea salt. In fact, they're even preferred almost 2-to-1 over McDonald's. These are fries so hot and crispy, they beg a new question.
What would you like with your fries?
Try them today, only at Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, taste preference based on a national taste test by an independent research company.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Check out Canty and Golick Jr. weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN+. This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Free agent quarterback Cam Newton is going back to the Carolina Panthers. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports if Newton passes a physical, he'll get a one-year deal that could be worth up to $10 million for the rest of the season. ESPN's Damian Woody.
If Cam Newton's a starting quarterback, which by the contract he signed, he's going to be the starting quarterback. I think they need to cater this offense around him to get him acclimated as soon as possible.
Damian Woody on Barton Hahn. ESPN's Diana Rossini reports the teams who are interested in wideout Odell Beckham Jr. believe he won't make a decision about where he'll play next until after Sunday's games. Beckham cleared waivers on Tuesday, becoming a free agent. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Bulls center Nikola Vucevic will miss multiple games. He's now in the NBA's health and safety protocols. He's averaging 14 points and 11 rebounds a game. The Bulls open a 5-game West Coast trip tomorrow against the Warriors. Wisconsin running back Chez Malusi will miss the rest of the season with a left leg injury. He was the Badgers' leading rusher this season with 815 yards on the ground.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Happy Thursday. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, live from String Sports Brewery. Try to get a little different angle going here, guys. And we've been here every Thursday. I'm like, I'm going to try to give you a little something different. And so, well, we're trying it. You got a baseball scoreboard in the background. You got a tree in the background. You got the outside part of String Sports Brewery. And hopefully the people in the background don't mind or pick their nose. I won't tell them, if you won't tell them. Brent Martineau here, Austin Lane, Action Sports Shack Studios, along with Casey Kurtz. What's happening on a Thursday, fellas?
Not too much, man. Same all over here. Business as usual. Casey doing all right?
Can't complain.
Can't complain. There you go.
He should be good. Last check, I think I saw his guy Gooch in the lead in the golf.
Casey, is this true? You got doing all right? Sorry, are you busy? My bad.
Yeah, unconfirmed. I'm trying to have Brent so you can see the people picking his nose, but I haven't seen him yet, so we're working on that. But we'll get you that shot in a second.
Oh, okay. It's one of those things. It's not routed yet. I see. So he's working hard. He doesn't want to talk. You know, you try to include the guy in the show, and he doesn't want any part of it. I mean, what are we going to do? All right, moving on. Forget about Gooch. Forget about his top golf pick. And I hope the guy has to now go shoots double bogeys every hole.
There you go, man. I mean, I hope so, too, but that's more of just the competitor in me more than anything.
Yeah, true. I was kind of hoping for that anyhow. You just heard the SportsCenter update, by the way. Cam Newton, the big story. He's back in the NFL. Should I get on my like Blake Bortles soapbox here? Cam Newton, Blake Bortles, Josh Johnson, Joe Flacco, Trevor Siemian, P.J. Walker, you name it. Who do you want? Pick them out of a hat. Now we get to see if Cam Newton's got anything left. He's back in Carolina.
Yeah, you know, and he's making starting quarterback type of money. You know, I'm taking a look at the deal right now. So a one-year deal, as much as $10 million, 4.5 guaranteed, 1.5 million roster bonus. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of an awkward situation because that regime, that staff, didn't want to bring him back, and now they do bring him back. So
it's weird.
Obviously he's excited for the opportunity, I'm sure. Obviously the team is desperate because Sam Darnold now, has it's not a fully broken shoulder, but a half, or whatever they call it, a half fracture on his shoulder. So they're super desperate. I mean, hey, I guess you want to bring a guy that's familiar with the organization, not so much with the playbook per se, but familiar with the organization.
Seems like a lot of money for Cam Newton. What's he done lately? What's Cam Newton done lately? Not much. Couldn't hang in New England. Obviously, for whatever reason, whether it's vaccination or other things, you can come up with your own. Maybe he didn't like the backup role. He wasn't going to fit there with Mac Jones. Listen, the Patriots made the right choice. They went to the rookie, and Mac Jones has played pretty well for them, and they're 5-4. Carolina this is one Cam Newton. How much should he get, and how much does he have left? And he's young enough to have stuff left, but there's a Cam Newton that feels old, because his body's been beat up. Now, maybe over the last few months, you get a little healthier and you get a little rest, and now you're only going to go through half the season. Maybe that helps him out. It's not a lot of money by NFL standards, but it seems like $4.5 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed, and shows a little bit of the desperation of the Carolina Panthers. My guess is they didn't want to go this route. They didn't believe in him a couple years ago, and I don't think they wanted to do this, but this is their best option, right? They didn't feel like there was another good option out there at the quarterback spot to give them a chance to succeed. And the clock is starting to tick a little bit on Carolina, Austin. Matt Rule's been there a bit and hasn't been able to figure out this quarterback situation.
Yeah, but at the same time, they kind of put all their eggs in the Sam Darnold basket instead of maybe addressing it in the draft, trading up per se. One would think that they're probably going to address it in this up-and-coming draft. Not really sure who the standout quarterbacks are going to be quite yet. They still haven't made themselves known. But I guess when you got guys, you had P.J. Walker as kind of that backup. This is a team that's desperate for winning. This isn't a team that's going to try to tank now and get the best quarterback available, as some teams have done in the past. This is a team that, with Matt Rule, I think he still has to kind of earn his stripes a little bit. This is a team from the offensive coordinator position and Joe Brady, who still kind of has to cement a name for himself a little bit. Got off to a pretty good start, but now, in terms of being the next head coach of a different team, those talks have gone away. So to me, the Carolina Panthers right now, they're still a team with a lot to prove. And you got Christian McCaffrey coming back, who's been that workhorse for you. So you got to try to go out there and win some games.
I'm trying to look. Let's see the draft picks of the 2021 Carolina Panthers. They picked number 8, and so they picked J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. They could have had Justin Fields. They could have had Mac Jones. And they said, hey, Sam Darnold, and that's the route they went in the offseason and made the move for him. But they still could have got a backup plan instead of P.J. Walker and invested in the QB position. That's a miscalculation on their part twofold, right? One, to get Darnold in there and think that he had something going, and it looked that way for a couple of weeks. But remember now, 2 of their first 3 wins were against, not great competition. I think they beat the Saints in that stretch, and that was pretty good. And then they really miscalculated again by saying, hey, we're going to pass on 2 really good quarterbacks potentially, and we're going to go defense. I think that, listen, we've criticized the Jags over the years. We've seen this up close. We've seen this right front and center. And the Jags misfired on a lot of different things, from Mahomes to Watson to Fournette situation to trying to get Bortles and that not working, to getting Gabbert, and that didn't work. So, listen, we know what works and doesn't work, but we also know when you make a big mistake. And the Carolina Panthers might have made a big mistake at the QB position twice in the same month, Austin, or at least over a 6-week stretch, by getting Sam Darnold and thinking that was the answer, and then by not buying an insurance policy and supporting just in case that they would fail in that regard, and getting a young quarterback.
Yeah,
and so that's a big mistake.
No, it's hindsight's 20/20, and it's definitely a big mistake now. I think at the time, considering you gave up the 6th-round pick, then the 2nd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick for Sam Darnold, you were kind of all in on Sam Darnold. So to say, we're trading for Sam Darnold, but we're also going to get a guy like Mac Jones or Justin Fields. Yeah, at the time, maybe it didn't sound so appetizing because you essentially said, we're all in on Sam Darnold, this has to work, and now you have no backup plan. it looks bad now. But at the time, I mean, I don't blame Matt Rule for saying, hey, Sam Darnold's our guy. We invested in him. Now let's give him some guys and build around him. Guys like, Terrace Marshall Jr., Brady Christensen.
Yeah, again, I get that they did it, but the reality is they look like they failed on two fronts.
I mean, hindsight's 20/20. Yeah.
Well, I know hindsight's 20/20, but we don't give. Yeah, I mean, we ripped the Jags for the last 10 years on hindsight. We ripped Chicago for doing the same thing. Matt Rule has been there a few years and can't figure out the quarterback situation. I guess that's the point. I mean, it's like. Chicago is very much like this, right? I mean, they go make all the big moves up to Trubisky, okay, fail. Like, again, I applaud teams for going up in the draft and getting their guy and thinking they have their guy. I applaud the Jags for going to get Gabbert and getting Bortles. The problem is they got their wrong guy. Like, they weren't right in their judgment. Same with Chicago on Trubisky. And then, they go get Foles, and they trade for Foles, and that doesn't manifest itself at all, and they can't even get rid of him after that. And then they go get Fields, and now it looks like Fields is going to work. But even in the early part of the season, they should have gone with Fields probably right off the jump, most likely, and they didn't. Andy Dalton thrown in the mix for $10 million. So it's like these teams are not only missing once, is my point, they're missing multiple times on the quarterback spot, much like the Jags, from Bortles to Foles and beyond. Like, Minshew's not a miss because they actually got pretty good play out of a guy for a 6th-round pick that they never anticipated would do that. And now they're hoping to hit on Trevor Lawrence. Like, maybe Chicago finally lands on Justin Fields. The problem is for Carolina, who are they finally landing on? And right now they're landing in a desperation mode to go pay $10 million potentially to a guy that I'm not sure many people want and might be washed up.
No, for sure. It was a classic case of you believed in your free agent signing or your guy in Sam Darnold. You essentially tailored the draft to try to help him out, and it didn't work. And now you're left without a backup quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, you have to address it this year in the draft some way, somehow. I think that the game of trying to go after a free agent guy is over. You have to invest in a young guy. It just depends how patient now this organization is going to be with Matt Rule.
Yeah, and they signed him to a long deal, right? Matt Rule, I think that was part of the reason they got him from Baylor. I remember that conversation, whether it's like 7 years or 8 years even. It was a long deal. And so he's got time, and they're not going to get out from underneath that. It's just certainly not a good start in that regard. He's shown some things. They've had moments. They look like they're on the right path, and then the quarterback seems to derail that path. And also they have an oft-injured star player in McCaffrey. And kind of very similar to the New York Giants, where that guy's a good player. Saquon Barkley's a really good player. McCaffrey's a very good player. Well, but when you're not available and you can't rely on them being available, it's really hard to build a football team and be successful.
But also, let's keep in mind, this is Matt Rule's second year, right? So it's not like, I mean, let's calm down a little bit, right? Because didn't he start 2020 was his first year? I could have swore. Wasn't last year his first year? Or am I crazy? I might be crazy.
I think you're right.
Yeah, well, last year was his first year. Yeah.
Because Cam and Ron Rivera left at the same time.
Yeah. So this is his second year in the NFL. Obviously, maybe not exceeding expectations, but I think right now the leash on Matt Rule deserves to be a little longer than what we're talking, or at least what I think we're talking about.
Yeah, well, no, and I'm not saying they need to fire him. I'm saying he's off to a really rough start and getting behind the 8 ball on all this stuff because of his poor move and their poor moves as an organization at the QB position. It really sets you back. Because now you look, if I'm a Carolina Panther fan, now I look ahead and I'm like, okay, this draft coming up, hopefully we find our guy, but it doesn't look like, wow, there's a bunch of guys. And where are we picking, and how are we getting that next quarterback? Or are we just going to ride with Darnold until the wheels completely fall off? And that might be what they have to do based on the situation in the draft or what else becomes available. But I think, again, we've seen this with other teams, not just the Jags, but now you're chasing your tail on that, and you're stuck in a certain spot. So, quite frankly, Matt Rule might get to year 4 before he really finds, like, a franchise quarterback that he hoped he found in, like, year 2. And it's one thing to not have it last year, I think, with this current situation where they passed on 2 guys that could have landed right in Carolina's lap. Because wasn't it, everybody around the draft time was pretty surprised that Carolina didn't go quarterback, if I remember correctly, or at least surprised when they got Sam Darnold and said, okay, we're not going to go one of these quarterbacks.
But let me ask you this. If they would have gotten Justin Fields or if they would have gotten Mac Jones, is the record better than 4-5 right now this year?
I don't know. I would say probably not. But the future's better.
Sure.
You've got that spot figured out potentially. And there's no
potentially
for sure answer.
Yeah,
but I would just say I'd feel much better going forward if I'm a Panther fan and someone in that organization and Matt Rule if I have Justin Fields or Mac Jones rather than I have Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker, and now Cam Newton coming in off the street.
Okay.
Trade for Jimmy G.
Now we're talking.
Well, and so maybe you're right. Maybe that's a possibility there. For them, because is there anybody else that's going to be available? I mean, excluding like guys like Nick Foles and Joe Flacco, is there anybody like that? Like seriously, I mean, Garoppolo has got things done, can play. I'm not sure he's never going to be an elite quarterback. I think we figured that out, but he can play the game, and I think you can win games with him. Although even Shanahan, the 49ers have had a hard time doing that, but. Is there anybody else that would come to mind for this offseason?
I mean,
for them,
it kind of depends what happens with Deshaun Watson. If somehow
Watson.
Philly
gets
Deshaun Watson, then Jalen Hurts becomes available. Tua Tagovailoa possibly becomes available.
Daniel Jones.
Aaron Rodgers. Who knows what's going to happen with him?
Tyrod.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Drew Lock.
Casey, for the sake of the conversation, I mean, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, those kind of guys make a lot more, are better points of the conversation than Tyrod Taylor, even Daniel Jones, because they just did the Daniel Jones thing potentially. Like if the Giants don't stay with him, they just kind of did that with Sam Darnold. So Watson is one I forgot about. I mean, and they were rumored to be in, whether that was real or not. Maybe that's somebody that they can kind of save that position by going to do it. Now, they did trade away some stuff. They didn't trade away everything to go get Sam Darnold, but I wonder if they'll be a little apprehensive about doing that and taking on dollars in like a Jimmy Garoppolo front. But you answered my question. There are options for them. They just got to pick the right option and get it done to be able to figure it out. The other story you heard in the SportsCenter update, and then we'll get to the Jags and some other things, but Odell Beckham Jr. taking his time. Some people suspect that he's taking his time because there's less interest than maybe is being reported.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he be taking his time? Do you think that's it? Because I don't know if that's what I buy, but I'm kind of also saying, all right, well, if that's not it, then why is he taking his time?
I mean, I would say it's the same reason why he mentioned the Saints in terms of a team that he's interested in. He's trying to get, the most value. He's trying to strike up, the want, if you will, and I just think he's trying to take the best offer possible.
So it sounds like Odell Beckham's going to wait through the weekend and then pick, which, listen, if Odell Beckham, take away all the other stuff that happened, I'm not sure I think it's a pretty smart play on his part. Let me think through some of this. Let me not make an emotional decision. If Aaron Rodgers is calling him, let me just not say, okay, yeah, right away. Let me think through this and see what fits. Let me wait one more week and see who gets another win. If you want to be part of a contender, it might not be the worst thing. Let me take a look at study these offenses a little bit, see where I might fit in. I mean, maybe taking a few extra days in this situation is a smart move for whatever the reason by Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, but what do you need to study right now for Odell Beckham Jr.? You know that you have Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the best quarterbacks still in the league right now. And you know that Aaron Rodgers can win without Devontae Adams, without Robert Tonyan, against maybe at the time one of the best teams in the NFL in the Arizona Cardinals. You know that you're going to have Trevor Siemian throwing you the ball if you're in New Orleans. And you know right now Patrick Mahomes isn't the same Patrick Mahomes that we're accustomed to, and there seems to be some types of miscommunications going on in the field in Kansas City. I don't think you need to wait an extra week to figure that stuff out. You can just watch a couple games and figure that out.
Yeah, I think, by the way this played out from last Tuesday, he could have been figuring that out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday until he hit waivers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had plenty of time already, to your point. So I wonder if it brings in I think there was another report. I think Rossini reported 3 teams that he's interested in. But then I think there was another report from ESPN that said 8 other teams, or maybe it's 8 total teams, are still looking into it and interested, whether Odell's interested or not. And that included Seattle and even New England, So it's pretty wild to see where he ends up. Again, I'm more interested to see what kind of impact he makes. But I wonder what he's waiting on, and if Man, I'll tell you what, if there are a few teams interested, if we find out that, let's say he goes to Green Bay, but there are very few teams interested in Odell Beckham Jr., I really must say something about the tape, Austin, or the stories they hear in Cleveland, one of the two.
No, I mean, I think it could definitely say a little bit about both. Once again, we don't know what they're asking for in terms of a contract, because it's his kind of show now. It's up to him and his agent how they want to structure things. So maybe they're asking too much. Maybe they have a higher opinion on themselves than what they really should have right now. I have no idea.
Did you see Josh Allen got slimed? Nickelodeon slimed.
Yeah, man.
How about that?
Good for him.
Yeah, good week for Josh Allen, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, Nickelodeon slime victim.
Yep. MVP, right?
Yeah, MVP, baby. So that happened today as the Jaguars get ready to take on the Indianapolis Colts. How good is Indy? Are they about to threaten Tennessee and the rest of the AFC? Or are they really just an okay team that should be better? Because it looks like they have a pretty good roster and have some good parts. We will discuss that when we come back. We're live at String Sports Brewery. What's up?
Here's a fun question for you guys real quick. Who was the MVP last year for Nickelodeon?
Don't they do
week
it every
8.
week?
No, they do it every single week. It can be offense or defense.
And you're saying last week or last year?
Week 8. Right. Last week. We talked about it a lot in the show, Casey. You may be a diehard of this guy.
Diehard?
Casey's mentioned him. I mean, we both have mentioned him a couple times. So Casey's a really big fan. I'm a fan, too. I respect the hustle.
Is this somebody random?
Yep. Well, kind of. He earned it, but it's definitely random. Mike White.
Oh, Mike White.
Mike White of the New York Jets was your MVP of Week 8.
What week are we on?
They're counting it as Week 9.
But we're going into Week 10 right now. But, yeah, so they just handed out the Week 9 award.
So that threw me off because the Jets' last game was not Mike White.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was last Thursday, yeah. Yep. We will pick the Thursday game, by the way. We have that coming up a little bit later on. We talk a little surfing. Yeah, we go different surfing right into hockey at one point in this show. FSU Report coming up as well. But let's talk Jags football when we come back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Live from String Sports Brewery here in Springfield. Jaguars All Access coming up tonight, 7 o'clock on Fox 30.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Keeping the umbrella nearby today, we'll have a mix of clouds and sun. It'll be quite warm, but also with some scattered showers from time to time as temperatures approach 80 degrees. A few showers into this evening, down to near 60, and partly sunny and quite warm again tomorrow. Your Friday high in the upper 70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
When you're in the mood for love, but you have ED or PE, have you tried those little blue pills? Have they let you down? Have they left you more frustrated? The answer isn't more blue pills with awful side effects. The answer is a private consultation with a specialist in men's health at Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom and Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications. There's no pain and no surgery. Even men who have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Men, if you want to last longer in the bedroom without little blue pills, schedule a private consultation at Prime Men's Medical Center. We guarantee you'll see results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-519-3035. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-519-3035. That's 800-519-3035. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-333-1750. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-333-1750. That's 800-333-1750 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
The NFL is on. Key, Jay, and now Max Kellerman.
Here's a guy that you drafted in the first round that you think could potentially be the successor to Aaron Rodgers in the future, but could he at least be a damn backup?
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Well, you know, with Tennessee, it's just basically zone left, zone right, and they're telling you what they're doing. These guys are, I mean, Taylor's is again, he's a great back. 21, flying around. They get Max, a great back. I mean, they're all really good backs. He's been a Pro Bowler. So I mean, Taylor's a guy that can take it to the house on any snap, and he's a powerful back. So we got a gang tackle. We got to get a lot of hats on the ball, and you know they're similar in some ways, but Tennessee's more of a stretch right, stretch left, lead right, lead left, and these guys are a little bit more downhill, double teams.
That is Joe Cullen, who did a fantastic job last week against the Buffalo Bills, but now he's got a whole different set of problems against Indianapolis. It is quite a disparity between the two teams, the Bills and what they try to do and what Indianapolis will try to do. And Jonathan Taylor, right now, I mean, shoot, man, with Derrick Henry out, you make the case he's the best back in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a case for it for sure. I mean, I still think Alvin Kamara's up there when he's healthy, but yeah, Jonathan Taylor's having a heck of a year.
I mean, Chubb has been super productive as well when he's healthy, but like you just said, when he's healthy, right? Kamara, when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, when he's healthy. McCaffrey, when he's healthy. James Robinson, when he's healthy. I mean, Derrick Henry, when he's healthy. There's a lot of backs injured right now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and by the way, by sheer numbers, Jonathan Taylor, and one of the most important running back stats there really is, at least from what an individual can do, you can't control how much they give you the football. Jonathan Taylor, 5.9 yards per carry after his big game last week. 5.9 yards a carry.
Yeah. I mean, next to, Derrick Henry, he's leading the NFL in rushing right now. So
yeah,
it goes to show you just how great this guy is doing. And it's surprising, too, because a lot of experts thought that, they still have Marlon Mack. They have Nyheim Hines. So, people thought that maybe it's going to eat into his usage a little bit just because they have guys that can do everything as well. But Jonathan Taylor's really cemented himself now as a 3-down back. And there are some questions of that with him in the receiving game, but he's doing just fine with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, and like Derrick Henry, obviously, is the best back in the NFL. He's proven that. But he does it differently because, like, again, if you look at that key stat of yards per carry, Derrick's like 4.3, but Derrick gets the ball so much. I mean, like, the amount of carries versus everybody else in the NFL. So, like, if you gave that many carries to James Robinson, who's also like over 5 yards a pop, or if you gave that many to Jonathan Taylor, my guess is their yards per carry is going to go way down. But there's been a nice mix of Jonathan Taylor running the football, ability to catch the football a little bit, Wentz using Pittman, and that's opened up some things down the field. So now everything's popping right now for the Indianapolis Colts, it looks like. And, again, it did it against a very poor Jets team and a really poor outing by a Jets defense that sometimes has looked a lot better than that. But, I mean, I don't know if I've watched an NFL game then that I saw just like a push from an offensive line look so dominating. You can see it in the trenches sometimes, like, hey, they're moving the pile. But this thing was like 3 of their offensive linemen on last Thursday night were some 7, 8, 10 yards down the field, Austin.
Yeah,
these guys still running behind them.
It's like Joe Cullen was saying here, some offensive lines that they're trying to get you east to west, not necessarily push you back, but just kind of, force a hole going east to west. And some offensive lines, it's their goal to try to push you back and establish a new line of scrimmage. And that's what the Colts can do. They had some injuries to start things off now in the beginning of the season, but now they're getting healthy. And when they're healthy, they've always been considered one of the best offensive lines in the NFL the past couple of years. So it's a team that you got to bring your hard hat, your lunch pail, all those great cliches and everything. But you also have to be aware of the change of direction and the trickery because, Reich is a guy who he likes to take his shots here and there as well.
Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. We're live at String Sports Brewery here in Springfield. You talk about this defense and the game plan. How different will it be? What do you like? What will be noticeably different about this game plan versus what they did last week? Now that the running game is a threat, and I guess on top of that, Austin, I would say to me this is the game, along with Tennessee, of why you consistently pounded all off season. We got to stop the run, stop the run, stop the run, stop the run, and this is a football team that even if your weakness is in the passing game, which it has been all year, and other teams have said, I'm going to pass against this team because we can throw it all day and all over the yard, this is one of those times where they're still going to give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. So they are going to run the ball. So I think this could be a signature type of run-stopping game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, are they really that good at it? Can they do it when they need to do it? They did an okay job against Derrick Henry a couple weeks back until the fourth quarter where it got a little leaky. So I think this is a big testament to their run defense coming up, but also how different will this look in terms of their game plan and what they try to do?
Yeah, I think there's definitely be more emphasis on stopping the run than you saw against Buffalo. Not to say that wasn't emphasis, but you kind of knew what Buffalo was going to try to do. I think the goal this week has to be establish a dominant defensive line, stopping the run, and then force Carson Wentz to beat you. Now, in the past, Carson Wentz has shown the capabilities that he can be a good quarterback, and he has shown the capabilities of making mistakes as well. I think in terms of your pass rush, it's going to be a little harder getting home than it was last week against the Buffalo Bills, who were bringing guys back who definitely weren't on the same page. But like you said, Jonathan Taylor is going to get his touches. This offense goes through Jonathan Taylor, and it goes really through that running game in general with those guys in the backfield. So you got to take care of that first, and then keep them in second, third, and longs, and that way it makes things a little easier on you. They do have explosive firepower. Whether it's Pascal, whether it's Pittman, if T.Y. Hilton comes back, their tight ends are okay. Guys like Mo Alley Cox, I think they still have Doyle as well. But what I'm really watching for is a guy like Nyheim Hines, who, I think both Urban Meyer and now Joe Cullen have brought up. Haven't mentioned him by name, but they both brought him up, the other running back, and saying, you got to know where that guy is because, if you look at the box score sometimes, maybe he's got 2 rushes here, maybe 2 receptions, but then he has those games where he has 2 touchdowns where he just breaks out because you can literally put that guy anywhere on the field and get some type of productivity out of him. So you got to know where Nyheim Hines is at all times.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. That could be an interesting one to watch, especially in the open field. And the Jags, I really feel like the Jags have been a good tackling team this year. People noted it last week, and some days it stands out more than others. I think they've been pretty good at it. Listen, missing tackles is part of the game. I don't think they've been poor at that aspect. I think they've been pretty good. I think their open field tackling has been pretty good, and so they'll need some of that again against Nyheim Hines and of course against Jonathan Taylor. Group tackle, gang tackle type of way. You look at what the Colts have done. Their schedule has been their losses have been good teams for the most part. Seahawks, that was the opener, and Seahawks have been an up-and-down team. But the Rams are good. They lost just by a field goal to the Rams. They lost to the Titans now twice, which is really bad and painful for them because that could really make a difference in the AFC South. Most recently in overtime when Carson Wentz made some horrific mistakes. They beat the Dolphins, who aren't good. They lost to the Ravens, who in overtime, and everybody loses to the Ravens in overtime, it feels like. With Texans, they stomped, and then they basically stomped the Jets as well. They did beat the 49ers in just that rainy game, and even the 49ers are kind of tough to figure out who they are. So I guess what I'm getting at here is I don't really know exactly what the Colts are. They're a 4-5 team that I think is probably better than their record. But I also don't know how good they are, Austin. And this is a Jags team that's played their best football against some of the better teams in the NFL.
I think this is a Colts team whose record may deceive you a little bit just because of the injuries, whether it was to Wentz, whether it was to Nelson. I think Fisher was out to start the season as well. So this is a team that's finally starting to get healthy. Once again, we'll see if T.Y. Hilton comes back because when he's on the field, he can be a difference maker as well despite the age. So I think this is a team that has yet to play its best football just because they have not been healthy. I think that if they can play healthy and they can stay healthy, then this is a dangerous team. I think this team warrants the hype that maybe you heard right when they got Carson Wentz saying maybe they're a quarterback away from making some noise in the playoffs. I think this team is built like that, from their offensive line to their defensive line to the weapons to the play calling. I honestly think they have it all. It's just they got to stay healthy. Starts with the quarterback position, and it trickles down, and they have not been able to do that part of it.
I just saw a headline as I was looking up some of the schedule for the Colts, and they had like a little preview for the Jags, and it said something like Colts host the suddenly surging Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm like, really? Really surging? Is that what this is? I mean, they had a bye week. They looked awful against Seattle. But they have won 2 out of 3.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like that is a weird headline because I don't know if I feel like the Jags are surging. Yet, I say that, and if they were to somehow beat the Colts, now you'd fit that in the category because winning 3 out of 4 is surging, especially for this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the direct definition of the term surging, but confident. I mean, yeah. I think
you can use whatever definition you want.
No, for sure. If you beat one of the best teams in the AFC, you're going to feel confident. You have every right to be confident. So, yeah, I mean, I think they are facing a Jaguars team right now that is a little surging or is confident just because of their last result. Yeah, I mean, they always say you're only as good as your last game. Well,
yeah.
If you're going off that basis, the Jaguars right now might be a pretty good team.
Yeah. I guess what's hard to figure, and listen, the Miami game was the Miami game. I mean, Miami's just not that good. The Bills game's a totally different thing because the Bills are very good, and everybody knows that. Nobody would say differently. And so it was just a great performance. That was followed by, and again, I credit the coaching staff here because, and you heard it, Dewan Smoot joined us on Tuesday, and he said, hey, Urban kept saying, hit the reset button, hit the reset button, hit the reset button, right? And so you can tell that they believe that, and credit to the staff for bouncing back from that Seattle game, which was just a disaster. And I think what would make me feel like, okay, the Jags have found a little something, well, 1 would be another win, but 2 would be the offense. That's why it doesn't feel that. And James Robinson's been out, so there's a good excuse there. But their last 2 weeks on offense, Austin, have just been really, below average.
No,
and
sure.
And so I have a hard time in today's NFL buying into a team that might be, quote, surging when they've scored 1 touchdown in 2 weeks. And let's be honest, it was kind of a garbage touchdown against Seattle.
No, for sure. And it's hard to take a Colts defense seriously who, you might have some respect for when they give up 30 points to Josh Johnson and 3 touchdowns. But I truly think, this is going to be another test for the Jacksonville Jaguars here against the Colts because they do have some good players on their defense. I think they're kind of spearheaded by their defensive line. Whether it's young guys, Kwity Paye, who's starting to make a name for himself a little bit, or they have experienced guys as well.
Darius Leonard's great.
Yeah, Darius Leonard's great as well. But I think, the Colts are coming off of a game where they should have blew out the New York Jets. And it didn't quite transpire like that. And anytime you have one of those games where you give up 30 points to New York Jets and a backup quarterback at home, that's embarrassing. That's when you kind of got to, rally the horses together and say, yes, we can't do this again. I mean, you saw the same thing kind of happen against the Seattle Seahawks that when you let a guy in Geno Smith kind of tear you apart a little bit, what would happen next week against the Buffalo Bills? They circled the wagons, they got everything together, and they're going to be embarrassed 2 weeks in a row. The same thing can be said now for this Colts team who just got embarrassed by Josh Johnson. So I guarantee the biggest talking point right now in that defensive meeting room for the Indianapolis Colts is we are not going to let a rookie quarterback and Trevor Lawrence come in here and beat us. There's no way. We can't allow it.
Casey, let me ask you this, because I hear what you're saying. I think that's a bit of a narrative going around about what the Jets did. They scored 20 points in the second half, 14 of them in the fourth quarter, and they even moved the ball and got in a position again, I think, even without scoring in the fourth quarter. I think it was a late pick. But, guys, I got to be honest with you. I watched that game, and I just never felt like the Jets and Josh Johnson are getting back in this game. I just felt like that was the ultimate garbage time, and the Colts were already, and they were already home, so maybe they're already back into their bed, and hit the showers early. That's the way I felt. I felt a little bit about that Jets performance in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, going up and down the field with Josh Johnson, like I did about the Jags being good on defense against Seattle in the second half. And I'm like, wait a minute now. How good were they really on defense when they allowed 70 yards of defense? I mean, what was Seattle trying to do is my mentality there. Well, the Jags kind of rallied around that a little bit, and they played pretty well on defense last week. So now you put that half together plus this 4 quarters together, it looks pretty good. So I guess it's fair to wonder, is this Colts defense going to give up a ton of yardage Sunday? But Casey, that's why I brought you in. I'm I don't like Austin saying right there. I think that's a narrative a lot of people have. They gave up a ton of yards. I mean, Josh Johnson, they let him do it. Did you look at that as just garbage time yards and points, or did you look at that man, the Colts can't stop anybody?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say for sure because I wasn't, keeping track of who was on the field. Was Darius Leonard out there at every snap? I don't know.
I think they kept everybody out there. They didn't throw the JV team in.
Then, it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this question. If you're the Colts and you came in after that game, so let's say you came in, might have been Sunday, I don't know, whenever you came in for that game, Friday, and you watch the film, and your defensive coordinator just goes, you gave up over 400 yards passing to Josh Johnson and Mike White, and you gave up 4 touchdowns total to those 2 guys. You think the guys in that locker room are pretty pumped to hear that stuff? Or you think they take that personally? You think, it was garbage time, it's all good? Or are they embarrassed that actually happened?
Yeah, I guess there's a level of embarrassment. Well, you would know better than me. I think there's a level of embarrassment, but I think coaches and teams and athletes in a way spin it to a positive a lot of times. And I think what they would probably do is say, listen, the last 20 minutes it was 45-10. So, just disregard the last 20 minutes. We played really good football and we turned them over. We did this for much of the game. Much like, again, the Jags were trying to talk us all into believing that, hey, first half was ugly against Seattle. But that second half, man, we played really hard. We just didn't buy it, but that's what they were trying to talk themselves into. So I would imagine, Austin, I don't know if they'll come out in this game and be like, we got something to prove because we can't let Trevor Lawrence do anything. I think they might come in and be like, listen, that final 20 minutes wasn't who we are. We don't do that. That was just them trying to play catch up when we're up by 5 touchdowns.
Okay. That's all I got to say about that. I think if Mike White and Josh Johnson throw for over 400 yards on you, regardless of how much game is left, regardless of what the score is, I think you take that personally.
Here's the deal. I will say this about the Colts. 16 points in the opener, 24, then 16, then 27, then 25, then 31, 30, 31, 45. You take the last 4 or 5 games, they're really scoring the football, which means the Jags are going to have to look like Mike White and Josh Johnson on offense. They're going to have to score in this game. This is going to be a game. They got to get out in the upper 20s to win, I believe. And that's not a knock on their defense. Defense might still play okay, but this Indy offense is looking pretty good right now, and they're putting up points. So, and that's against everybody, from the Jets to the Titans. Titans are playing good defense. They still gave up 31. You know, the 49ers, they gave up 30 in the rain. Now, some of that might have been like a pick six or something, but so I think the Jags are going to have to score in this game is the point, and their season high through 8 games is 23 points. That's not going to cut it against the Indianapolis Colts, in my opinion. We'll be back. We're live at String Sports Brewery, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jacks. If you can't catch the show live, just search Action Sports Jacks wherever you get your podcasts to make sure you don't miss moments like this.
Now, keep in mind, you're sitting next to Mr. Thanksgiving right now because I absolutely stuffed the stat column.
You sure did.
And they called me Mr. Thanksgiving.
Nobody
called
you. Nobody called you that.
I don't want to brag.
You called yourself that, maybe.
I don't want to brag. We're talking 4 points.
Yep.
We're talking 2 rebounds.
Yep.
We're talking a steal.
Okay.
We're talking a block.
Yep.
And I almost broke a guy's ankle. I'm just saying, if you find yourselves around some Jacksonville Giants and all of a sudden one of them starts saying, is that stovetop dressing?
Oh, jeez.
What is that? What is that? Is that cranberry sauce? Oh, Mr. Thanksgiving's in the house. And that's who you know they're talking about me.
Napa know-how.
Right now, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil is only $19.99. It's the hottest deal of the year for the coldest time of the year. So if you're in your car right now, there's no need to turn on the heat. I'm about to read this sizzler again. That's Napa full synthetic for a hot $19.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, does not include taxes and fees. Advertised sale price not available in some states. Offer ends 12/31/21.
What's your ultimate game day experience? A tricked-out man cave? Deluxe tailgate? Then enter the 5-Hour Energy Football Sweepstakes for a chance to win $10,000. And make your ultimate game day experience a reality. To enter, buy any 5-Hour Energy product and upload the receipt. It's that easy. The 5-Hour Energy Football Sweepstakes. Enter today.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 and a legal resident of the U.S. Ends December 10th, 2021. For official rules and how to enter without purchase, visit 5hesport.com. Void where prohibited.
Mr. and Mrs. Flavor, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. I'm Barry, the flavor of berry.
I'm Janet. I'm bitter.
And I understand your son is the flavor menthol?
Yes, he's the menthol in a menthol cigarette.
He's such a disappointment. Out there getting people addicted, being used by big tobacco to target black people. He could have been a lozenge.
Menthol cigarettes are harder to quit than regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Men, did you know that over half of all males suffer from ED or PE? Both of these conditions are highly treatable.
Ladies, if your man is suffering from ED or PE, he should talk to the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center.
If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom because of ED or PE, The specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center offer custom blended medications.
There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem.
If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down,
Men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, it's affordable.
for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center, call 904-664-8217.
That's 904-664-8217. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life. And you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut. Take two. Action.
You've been diagnosed with a new purpose, to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself. To look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
Did you know that United Healthcare helps connect you to doctors and therapists with 24/7 access to virtual care?
So I could have therapy from my couch?
Yep.
Or a doctor appointment from my car?
If you wanted to.
Wait, you're right. I don't even like when people see me sing in the car. Couch appointment it is.
Virtual visits are just one of the ways United Healthcare helps connect you to better health. Learn more at uhc.com. Plan benefits may vary.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Well, we just have to see how the week continues to progress, and then, we're assessing it every day. And, right now we're planning on, just doing our normal stuff and just kind of see during the week if we need to pull back on some things.
That is Darrell Bevell. And it's about as generic of a soundbite as you could possibly get. Certainly not letting us in on any secrets there for the Jaguars offensive coordinator of what they will do. I will appreciate his honesty, though. He said, I guess he was asked, do they look like they're getting somewhere on third downs or making progress? He was like, no.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And the numbers don't lie. I mean, again, Urban Meyer's been pretty transparent when they're good and when they're not so good. He uses some of the same things over and over. I mean, that's the repetitive nature of the season and kind of some coach speak. But these guys don't really beat around the bush much. I mean, they listen, we're not good on third downs. Listen, we're not good in big plays. Listen, we've invested a lot in special teams, but our special teams, the last week or so is getting leaky on kickoffs. So, I appreciate that stuff, Austin. I mean, that's pretty I think the fans appreciate that too. And I don't think it's calling players out. I think there's so much protection of players. It's just saying it how it is. I mean, he even said the third down stuff. Sometimes it's the receivers dropping balls, and sometimes the quarterback.
No, there's
who blamed his rookie quarterback, and why? Because sometimes it is his fault.
There's no sense in insulting the fans' intelligence, because that drives you crazy when there's I think we're getting better, and you're clearly not. So I appreciate the honesty. Sometimes honesty is the best policy. Did you see we have a little breaking news? Odell Beckham Jr. has made a decision.
I know it. We do have some breaking news. I was going to get on that. Go ahead. Share the news.
Odell Beckham Jr., according to Adam Schefter, blue verified checkmark and everything, is finalizing a deal with the Los Angeles Rams, per sources.
Well, I guess that shouldn't surprise us.
I am a little surprised, though. I am.
Well, but why wouldn't their name be in the mix? They're willing to give up first-round draft picks for talent. You can get this guy right off the street.
No, I'm not surprised that they're going after Odell Beckham Jr. I'm surprised Beckham Jr. wants to go to L.A. Because you got a guy by the name of Cooper Kupp right now who probably is the best wide receiver in the entire NFL, and you got a guy by the name of Robert Woods right now who's really starting to come on as a true two receiver. I don't know how Odell Beckham Jr. is going to fit in this offense. I mean, they're going to find a way for him, but, are you comfortable being the 2B or even being a 3 receiver?
Yeah, it's a good call. I mean, Cooper Kupp is the guy, without question. Woods, you said, has had some nice years and is a very productive guy. Probably I would put him in the underrated. Yeah, I'd put him in the underrated category, right? I mean, a little underrated, kind of like we talk about Tyler Lockett's probably more productive and better, but I think those guys are underrated players on their teams because of the superstar nature of guys like Kupp and the defense of L.A., but also DK Metcalf on the other side out in Seattle. So, yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, Deshaun Jackson basically asked for a trade, not because I hate it here in L.A. and I hate the locker room and I hate you guys, just because, well, I'm not really getting on the field. Now, that might have been Deshaun's problem, but he was frustrated with playing time. So, to your point, you could see an Odell Beckham Jr. that might not be that enamored with how much time he gets.
Yeah, it's exactly my point, because they do have a capable running back in Darrell Henderson as well, who's been getting the rock. So I'm truly surprised it was not the Green Bay Packers. I thought for sure that was going to be the lock. But you're going to a team that you have a good chance to win a Super Bowl, and I think that was the biggest decision for Beckham Jr. was going to a team that is obviously a Super Bowl contender, and right now the Rams, they got to be a favorite.
Yeah. This falls potentially in the category, Austin. Does he help the Rams that much? Or does he potentially break up whatever rhythm they have going on, whatever they've got going on chemistry-wise? Like, is it more risky for the Rams to bring him in than it might be to help? I think you could ask that question in this situation.
I mean, I think it's only going to help. I think McVay is going to find a way to utilize him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think, you had a guy in Van Jefferson who was really starting to come on as your third receiver. So now he's definitely taking a back seat. Yeah, I mean, is it an upgrade for the Rams? Absolutely. Is it too many cooks in the kitchen? We'll see.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's an insurance policy at the very least if somebody gets hurt,
Yeah.
Because now you got a guy. And again, we just don't know what Odell's got left. We're about to find out, because if you can't be good with McVay and Matthew Stafford, well, guess what? You're probably not that good anymore.
No.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We're going surfing when we come back from String Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Camrys, Corollas, RAV4s, Tundras, and more. When you're ready to buy a new Toyota, you've got to get to Arlington Toyota. At Arlington Toyota, they've got 300 new Toyotas available, plus interest rates as low as 0% on over 10 new Toyota models. 0%. Plus, you get 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. And every new car purchase gets a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Shop arlingtontoyota.com today. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/November for full details.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks.
Look, boss, there's another Safe Touch house.
Just play it cool. Drive on by.
Word on the street is these new Safe Touch security video cameras are really pinching the burglary business.
Yeah? How so?
Well, the cameras are integrated with the Safe Touch app, right? So the homeowner gets notified when someone even gets close to the house.
So that protects the entire property then?
Exactly. Driveway burglaries are a thing of the past now with these Safe Touch cameras.
Driveway break-ins. The low-hanging fruit of the burglary biz.
Yup. Boss, I heard someone even got busted for letting their dog poop in someone's yard.
Ha! Caught in the act with a Safe Touch security camera. Priceless.
Yeah, it keeps our job pretty simple. See a Safe Touch sign? Just drive on by.
Now, for a limited time, the Safe Touch Advantage plan includes free equipment and installation for new customers with an Advantage monitoring agreement. The Safe Touch doorbell camera, a $200 value, can be added for just $99. Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
As the seasons change, there's one thing that never changes: the importance of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean, and that's also why Our family has a Kinetico system from CGC Water. Yours can too. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Kinetico Premier Softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Financing available with approved credit. Just call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports free agent wideout Odell Beckham Jr. is finalizing a deal with the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams will visit the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Cam Newton was the NFL MVP in 2015 and led the Panthers to the Super Bowl. He played 9 years with Carolina after they drafted him. And now he's going back. If he passes a physical, Newton will join the Panthers. The Cardinals activate wideout A.J. Green from the COVID-19 list. He missed the win over the 49ers on Sunday. Quarterback Kyler Murray says his sprained left ankle is much better, and he's hoping to play this week against the Panthers. Cowboys defensive end Randy Gregory will be out for multiple weeks with a calf injury. That, according to head coach Mike McCarthy. It's possible Gregory will go on IR. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Nikola Vucevic has tested positive for COVID-19. He's fully vaccinated but needs 2 negative tests in 24 hours.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more. Plus, free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, welcome back. Spring Sports Brewery here in Springfield. Hang out here every Thursday. We have Jaguars All Access coming up at 7 o'clock, so come on out. We will have the show on Fox 30, of course, and Shaq Griffin will join us after the Jaguars get the big win and a heck of a defensive performance. Brent Martineau here, Austin Lane, former Jags player, current MMA fighter, here in the Action Sports Shack studio as well. And yesterday we're talking skateboarding, Austin, as the World Championships are around in town this week.
Yes.
Well, now let's go surfing.
Yes.
How about that? You've skateboarded. Have you surfed much?
Love skateboarding. Don't do the surfing scene. Don't like the ocean, but I respect it, Brent. I love watching it. I love checking it out, but I don't do it myself.
If you went like NFL player, MMA fighter, and surfer, now that would add to the resume, which is already pretty unique.
Hey, we're all good skateboarding, though, right? Don't need to go surfing. Appreciate
all right, well, let's go to the pro then. And we bring in Carissa Moore right now, Olympic gold medalist from the Tokyo Games, 5-time World Surf League champion. She joins us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. I think she was in the water in Jacks Beach earlier today for the big event coming up this weekend. Hello, Carissa. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, we're fantastic. We are not experts in the surfing game. You are, and we're glad to have you. What do you think about this event coming up in Jacksonville this weekend?
I am so excited to be here in Florida. This is actually my first time to the state, and Jack's Beach is it's awesome. It's already exceeded my expectations. There's been some really fun waves to warm up on. I actually got to partner with Supergirl, who's running the contest this weekend, to put on a really fun event with my More Aloha Foundation today. So we just got off the sand, and I'm really looking forward to a couple days of good surfing.
Carissa, where are you at right now in terms of just your confidence? You know, coming off of a gold medal, that has to be just a career goal in itself, competing on the biggest stage at the Olympics. And now you're coming to Jacksonville. I mean, you landed the reverse air. I mean, do we call you Air Moore? I'm not even sure. What do you have planned here for Jacksonville Beach?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm actually this is my off season from the championship tour, so I came to soak in the Florida sunshine and get some fun waves here and be a part of the Supergirl event to share some aloha. And I don't really have any crazy goals except to just go out there, perform at my best, and cheer on some of the rest of the field.
Carissa Moore with us, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, 5-time world champ, gold medalist from Honolulu, Hawaii. First time in the state of Florida. That's wild. Did not expect that. Obviously, there's great surfing here, but obviously Hawaii has some fantastic surfing all over the world. There's different hot spots. What is the scene in surfing here in Northeast Florida or in the state of Florida? Like, what is an outsider, if you will, look at Florida and say, hey, there's some pretty good surfing? Where? Would you say that?
Well, I have to be completely honest. Jack's Beach is my first and only stop I've made in Florida so far, but so far so good. This place, I think what's the best part so far is just the people and the atmosphere. And it's like I've been welcomed with a lot of love, and everyone's been kind and super cool. And the waves have been really fun, too. It's a big state, so I know there's a lot of coastline and a lot of fun waves out here. So hopefully I can come back and adventure.
Carissa, you know, being a professional surfer and growing up in Hawaii and being born there, I mean, is that the hot spot? Is that the place to learn really how to surf and, embrace the biggest waves is in Hawaii? Because to me, I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm used to cheese. Anywhere else I go and I try cheese, it's like, it's good, but it's not Wisconsin cheese. Is that how you kind of feel about the waves wherever else you go compared to the Hawaii waves?
Hey, that's a great way to put it. I mean, if you've got coastline and there's some waves in the water, you can learn to surf anywhere. But Hawaii is really like the proving grounds. And in the surf world, that's where you want to put on a good show and really prove yourself. And I feel very fortunate to have grown up on the beaches of Hawaii. There's all kinds of waves, from small and playful to big and powerful and challenging. So I get a little bit of everything at home in Hawaii.
Is that the first time cheese and surfing have ever been compared in an interview?
That's the first time, yes.
Hey, expect more of that out of Austin.
Yeah,
for sure. The Supergirl Surf Pro event. Tell us a little bit about this. Why does it make it a big deal coming here to Jacksonville? And what's the opportunity like for some of these competitors coming here?
Well, I didn't realize how big of a deal this event was for Jacksonville until I started talking to some of the locals, where they were just expressing how excited they were to have an event of this size here at their local beach. I guess there hasn't been one here in a long time, and it's an all-girls, all-female event. And it carries actually a lot of weight for the girls from North America that are trying to qualify for the championship tour. It's another step towards making those dreams come true.
You also talked about the More Aloha Foundation and your partnership with Supergirl, and you had the event today. This looks like it's been fantastic, what you started, and you say you're just trying to spread more love. Can you give us a little bit more about your foundation and what you do and how long you've been doing it, and where you hope it goes?
Oh, well, thank you so much. My face actually hurts from smiling at the moment because I've been at the beach all day with just so many stoked little girls, and it made my heart really full, and I'm really happy. But I started the More Aloha Foundation back in 2018 just with the goal of bringing young girls together in a place where they feel confident to be themselves, to share, inspire, encourage each other, to step outside their comfort zone, face their fears, chase their dreams, really just to empower them and to share the Aloha spirit and encourage them to be kind and compassionate individuals.
Chris,
That's good stuff.
What I always respect about extreme sports is that athletes like yourself, you're always trying to push the limits, you know. And I mentioned a little bit when you landed the air reverse, basically, and to kind of paint the picture for the casual surfing fan. I mean, she rides up this wave, catches the biggest air possible, and then comes down, kind of does like a 180 and lands it. And it really had never been seen before from a female in a competition. I think you got a 9.9 off of that. Like, to me, it reminded me of like when Tony Hawk landed the 900, and it was groundbreaking for the sport of skateboarding, just like your trick was groundbreaking for the world of surfing. What's next now? Like, what's the next progression after that?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, I can't take credit for being like this groundbreaking maneuver. I mean, it was very cool. Like, I was super stoked too. But you know, there's been a lot of females who have done that maneuver in the past, and maybe not as big or on that big of a section, but it has been done before, and they're females are doing it all the time, just maybe not under a 30-minute time crunch and in a jersey. Yeah. So I think it's just, you know, we got to just keep bringing it out and keep pushing each other to keep making that the norm. And what's rad is, I mean, I'm looking at even the next generation, and with the development of wave pools and getting the chance to train on a consistent canvas, the next generation of girls is just taking those aerial maneuvers, which is when you literally go off of the wave and then get back on the wave. It's extremely difficult because you're dealing with a moving wave, a wave that is not the same all the time in the ocean, and you're not attached to your board. And so just trying to keep all of that together in a fluid motion and the momentum to keep up with the wave, there's so much going on and a lot of risk. And so but just to see what the girls are doing, it's going to be interesting to see where the sport goes.
Carissa Moore leading the way for all that next generation of girls. All right, let's leave you with this. Is there, like, you mentioned stoked and rad, and we mentioned all these different extreme sports terminology and some maneuvers. Is there a favorite maneuver name or a favorite name in surfing that you have? Like, when you're with the kids, you were 10-year-olds today and teaching them a little bit about it. I mean, is there a phrase in surfing that's just like, that is so cool, I want to go say that again?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if there's like a particular term, but I think just the idea of getting barreled, which is when you ride in the middle of a wave and the wave breaks over you and you're in the center and surrounded by the water, and then you come out. It's kind of something that you just dream. Like, when you start surfing and you learn about this, you're like, that's something I want to do. Because in that moment, time slows down, and it's, you know, Mother Nature's uncontrollable, but in that moment, you feel like you're in control, and you're in the zone, and you're at peace, and you're just present. And that's what we're all striving for. So I think the idea of getting barreled is something that every surfer dreams of.
That's awesome.
That's what I was going to say too, Brent. Now,
oh yeah,
in Wisconsin, no, I swear, but in Wisconsin it means something different. But yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Carissa.
Hey, Carissa, I just hope, I mean, you're way tougher than Austin. Austin played in the NFL, MMA cage. He fights. He's had a fight next Sunday, but he's afraid of the ocean.
Yeah, I don't do the ocean that much,
Carissa. You're just way
Carissa.
tougher than him.
Oh, I don't think so. What you do is pretty intense. I don't ever want to be caught on a football field with any of those guys coming running at me or be in a cage. So, you know, we're tough in our own ways, right?
I respect that. You better believe it, Carissa. Yes,
well,
sir.
You guys might be, but I'm not. Carissa Moore, have a great weekend here in Jacksonville. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Yeah, thanks, you guys. Have a great one.
All right, that's Carissa Moore, 5-time world champ, Olympic gold medalist. They just brought it into the Olympics this year. I know she had to run. We could have stayed with her for a few more minutes, but pretty cool that it's an Olympic sport. And when you're talking about females or really any, I mean, male or female, the idea that there's a promised land to get to in some of these sports, I think, is really cool, Austin.
Yeah.
Because, like, in your world, you grew up playing football, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I want to make it to the Super Bowl someday. If I grew up playing baseball, I want to play Major League Baseball. I'd like to go to the World Series. You know, NBA has that. Golf has that. NASCAR has this. All this stuff. Well, skateboarding has, like, the World Championships. We're seeing it in Jacksonville. Skateboarding now has the Olympics, and so does surfing. And so I think to kind of get on that grand stage and showcase the sport where not everybody might notice that the World Championships are going on, but they do notice the Olympics are going on. I think it gives, like, kids something to strive for. That's like the ultimate in swimming, right?
Yeah.
And track and field and other sports. So I think it's kind of neat when I mean, we experience that, right, with Kaylee. Like, she plays softball, but can you make a living playing softball down the road? Probably not. A few do, and maybe it grows a little bit more, but you can't at least strive for it in the moment like maybe Ty could strive to be a baseball player. And that's my point. I think it's cool for a lot of these other sports, niche sports, extreme sports, to be able to have that pinnacle to go after.
No, if you want that pinnacle, you have to have great pioneers to show you the way. And you know, talking to Carissa, she's a prime example of that, right? And any great sport that's progressed, whether it's, you know, being an Olympic sport now or just, you know, being in the skateboarding street league, like they've had the pioneers that have kind of shown the way, and then there's young upstarts coming along. And that's the crazy thing now about social media, about you know, just the realm of sports now, is that it's so accessible, all these tricks and all of these avenues of where you can go to learn, that, you know, the next generation is starting out younger than ever, and they're more talented than ever. So that helps grow the sport as well. So it's very cool to see, you know, whether it's, you know, a sport like softball, you know, basketball, or if it's a kind of a niche sport like skateboarding or surfing.
Yeah, pretty cool. The More Aloha Foundation, again, Carissa started in 2018. She told you a little bit about it. So check that out for the girls. And they had a big event over there today at Jack's Beach. Pretty wild. She hadn't been to Florida before. I think that's kind of ironic. It just sounds funny now when people haven't been. But she's from Hawaii. It makes some sense.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That she hasn't been. But really cool. You know what else I think of? We had the skateboarders on the last couple of months. We had Carissa on for the surfing event. And I think of sometimes like being, when you say like stereotypical, it's like this negative connotation a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, I feel like when we have those folks on, like, there's a stereotypical connotation of surfers or skateboarders, but it's kind of in a cool sense. You know, like you know, when you get one of them, the competitors on, you're probably going to get stoked and rad a couple of times.
No, for sure.
Like, and that's not a bad thing.
No, I mean, it's a it's a complete mindset. Like, I mean, if I could have spent my life being a professional surfer, I feel like there's worse things to be in this world. Now, the ocean, once again, is kind of a tricky thing to me. But, yeah, I mean, you know, whether it's the skateboarders that we've talked to or the surfers, they're all, you know, laid back, super cool. And that kind of goes with the sport and the environment that you surround yourself with. So it's pretty cool to see.
Well, and I think, like, something that would be cool to be, right? I've never really tried surfing. But at the same time, like, every depiction of a surfer, not every, but most, or a stereotype of a surfer is like, hey, man, it's super laid back. It's fun. They look like they're having a good time. Most of them are always smiling. I mean, you're spending time in the sun, in the water, you know, and you're doing these cool tricks and things like that. So it's kind of like I think it's a cool stereotype.
No, without a doubt. It's, I think, I mean, it's all about the attitude, right? And I think they kind of have that laid-back vibe. That's kind of the vibe that I grew up with in a family who, you know, at the time my stepdad was a diehard kind of ski bum type. So that kind of washed off on me a little bit. I mean, it's really the only thing I know in terms of, you know, your demeanor and your personality. And I think that's kind of reflected on me a little bit as well, of how I approach the radio sometimes and not being the most professional and being a little more casual. But it's all I know, man. And it's to me, it's the best way to live life.
Absolutely. That is a good way to live life, for sure. Brent Martineau
also, and by the way, I wasn't lying about the whole barrel thing either.
Well, barrels of cheese? Is that what you meant?
No, barrels of beer. We're out the barrel of beer. So fun fact, when so every Sunday back in my hometown of Iowa, Wisconsin, every Sunday before we went to church, they would play polka music on like one of the top, like on the famous station. Yeah, Casey, go ahead and chalk that up. You got the Roll Out the Barrel of Beer song. So yeah, so every Sunday this song would come on, and it's Roll Out the Barrel of Beer. You might have to fast forward a little bit. Did they start singing? Yeah, Roll Out the Barrel. So basically it's referring to roll out a barrel of beer, Brent.
Well, I want to keep this up.
Yep.
Have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel.
So this was every Sunday growing up at my grandparents' house. Which is kind of ironic because we're going to church to talk about drinking beer. I don't know how that works, but there you go.
It's a Sunday morning song.
Yeah, so roll out the barrel, getting barreled, that's also a drinking term in Wisconsin, but it's also a surfing term. So I kind of laughed when she said that because that was on my mind the whole time.
So, like, so basically you go to the Pico to go get barreled.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, any bar in town, you go to get barreled.
But
like
only
they still
one
play
bar in Wisconsin, okay? It's called the Pickle.
Okay, it's I don't want, because I'm not going to be like that because I have other bars I go to too that would be disappointed if I didn't mention them as well. So I don't want to single out one bar. But yeah, they still play polka music every Sunday too back home.
What was the name of that again?
Roll Out the Barrel.
Roll Out the Barrel. I wonder, like Nick Luco's a hockey guy.
Yep.
I wonder if he's heard of that from
Roll
up
Out
there
the
in the
Barrel.
Wisconsin area. And he joins us now, Jacksonville Iceman head
what
coach.
What a segue.
I mean, it's a tremendous segue, especially if he's ever heard of it. But I don't blame him if he hasn't. Coach, have you ever heard of that?
I have never heard of that, so that's a new one for me.
Hey, Coach, if you can work that into your speech tonight in the pregame to get the guys fired up, now that'd be something.
I'll put my own mind in a pretzel.
Nick Luco joins us, Jacksonville Iceman head coach. You guys going to come back and play some games at home? I think you are tomorrow. But, boy, what a start on the road quite a bit, including tonight.
Yeah, it's been a grind. I think I was doing the math on the bus yesterday. You know, over the last week, we've been on the bus for almost 2,300 miles and 34 hours of driving time. So it's it's been a lot of time on the bus, but it's going to be great when we get to come home and have our home stand here starting tomorrow night.
Yeah, no doubt. How you playing so far? I know it's very early. It's the infancy of the season, but, outside of the wins and the losses, what does it look like from a coach's point of view?
Yeah, I mean, we started out there with the 2 wins to go 2-0 here, and then we've had a few losses here. Kind of got hit with the injury bug, and then just playing on the road. It's been a bit of a grind, but I like where we're at right now. I think we got a good group. We're pretty young right now with the injuries and everything. I think we've had 9 to 10 rookies in the lineup every night, so you're going to get those rookie mistakes. But we seem to be learning from them, and we're building on something pretty strong here.
Coach, well, and you mentioned, this giant road span right now. I mean, like, how important is it just in terms of rest? One would think, like, between games, you guys get some good practices in, but is it more just of kind of a rest and recovery period before that next game, or how do you approach that?
Yeah. I mean, in the last week, we haven't had one practice, really. It's just trying to get the rest and recovery right now. We've had some injuries and traveling from city to city, so it's more about getting the proper nutrition, proper rest, just getting to the next city right now.
Just make sure you arrive, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I guess the positive spin of that, from a coach's point of view, is does it help build some chemistry, even though you do have some guys in and out of the lineup. But, I mean, the bus trips, the lunches, the dinners, the whatever, does that work, or is that kind of like, that's not really what happens on the road?
No, I think you're totally right. I think it's good for guys to get away, spend time together, at the hotel, or, like you said, go out to lunches and dinners and get to know each other, because, there's a lot of new guys here and we're still learning off each other. So, like you said, it's been a good, I guess it's hard to say, but it's been a good start for us, I think.
Coach Nick Luco with us, Jacksonville Iceman head coach. For folks who haven't, you get a good chance now. If you're an Iceman fan, if you're a hockey fan, or if you want to go see something fun to watch, go check out the Iceman. They are at Greenville tonight, so we appreciate Coach joining us just hours before the game. But then they hit the homestand. That's tomorrow night against Orlando at 7. You got a 10:30 in the morning game. Be a lot of kids at that game next Tuesday morning, and then home on Wednesday, Friday as well. So next 4 after tonight are all home over the next week. So plenty of time to go see the Iceman. And, Coach, when folks go and see the Iceman, is this going to be like there's a different styles or a different look to this team than maybe what they've seen in the past? I know this is your first year here, but how would you describe the style maybe that you guys play to the fans?
Yeah, we like to push the pace, play a fast style. We got some speedy forwards up front. We'll also play with some grit. So, we like to play structured defensively and limit chances to the other team. I think in our home opener, we only gave up like 18 shots or something like that. But, good defense leads a good offense there. So I think, we try and be strong in our own end and then, let our speed and skill take over off the rush offensively.
Coach, am I wrong to assume here? I mean, I remember that the St. Louis Blues a couple years ago won the Stanley Cup due to, their forwards being really two-way players. You kind of saw a trend like that in the NHL a little bit. Has that kind of taken over in your leagues as well, where you have to have these forwards that are obviously, they have speed, they have scoring ability, but that they can also play defense and get on the back check as well?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the other big thing that's coming back, which is great to see, is the grit. You look at Tampa Bay, who struggled for a few years there, and then they added some toughness and grit up front, and now they've gone back-to-back. So, I don't think, fighting might be down in the league a little bit, but you still have to be tough and finish your checks and be hard to play against. And I think that's awesome to see it, really coming back in the game here.
Nick Luco with us. We're going to let you go. You got a home game tomorrow night after this road game against Greenville, and then you have that Tuesday morning game. Do you tell the guys, like, hey, you better get to bed early on Monday night? I mean, that schedule just throws you way off, right? I mean, it's going to be a fun atmosphere with all the kids there on Tuesday morning at 10:30, but how wacky is that, or is that just like a morning skate?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little weird. As a player, I used to love the school day games. Just, I don't know, something about it. Like, I always had some of my better games. I think I had a couple 3-point nights as a player playing early in the morning like that. But it's nice because, you're done by 1 o'clock and you got the rest of the day. I think, especially as a coach now, when you wait for these 7 o'clock games, it's just a lot of waiting around and you get anxious and you just want to get started. So it's nice to just roll out of bed and, step on the bench and coach a game. If you're a player, you're rolling out of bed, putting the skates right on. So it'll be a lot of fun on Tuesday.
Hey, Coach, I understand that obviously fights are down right now in the league and everything, but if you want to boost those numbers back up, go ahead and give me a call, all right?
All right. Yeah, I'll get you. We might need a 10 forward coming up here soon. We're pretty depleted right now. So
yeah, for sure.
Go out there and throw a couple haymakers and get the crowd fired up. We'd love to have you.
Consider it done.
Yeah, I mean, sooner or later, you're going to push your way onto the Iceman roster, Austin.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, all you said was fighting, and all of a sudden my ears perked up a little bit. Now, skating and puck handling, I mean, it's okay. But the fighting part I can probably take care of.
Nick, just to let you know, I mean,
just do it right off
skate.
the draw. You don't even have to move.
Yeah, put some foil in the hockey gloves and everything. Wrap them in foil. We're good to go. Nah, Brandon, we don't do that anymore. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I won't say anything.
Hey, Nick, just to let you know, now he can skate. I mean, he's a Wisconsin guy, and he's got a fight next week in the MMA. I mean, he's 6'6", 245, and so you add the skates to it. I mean, this is he's kind of legit, but probably not legit enough for you, if we're being honest.
Yeah. He could be another Ryan Reeves, just coming down the wing there and finishing your checks on the D-man. By the third period, the D-man will want to go back and touch the puck.
See, I appreciate that because usually I get char. I'm like, I'm not trying to play defense. I got too much speed for defense. I appreciate that, Coach.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, thanks for I'm glad we could help kill a little bit of time before this 7 o'clock drop of the puck tonight in Greenville. Thanks for taking a couple minutes, and good luck.
Yeah, and good luck in the fight next week. It's going to be awesome.
Hey, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, man.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. That's Nick Luco, the Jacksonville Iceman coach. And
got to put that foil on, Brent. You know what I'm saying? Do you know about that?
Yeah, I've heard.
Okay.
You got a good comp, by the way.
I also didn't.
I'm sorry?
I also didn't know if I wanted to him to comment on it just in case.
Oh, that's fine. It's old school hockey. It's all good. Old time hockey right there.
You said good comp, Casey? Reeves?
Yeah, that guy doesn't really play a lot of hockey. He just beats butt, goes back to the bench, goes to the penalty box. It's a lot of just good fantasy guy. Lots of hits. Lots of penalty minutes, quality. That's exactly what you'd want to be.
No, for sure. I'm all for it.
If you made your player in 2K, you'd be him.
I mean, obviously, the only Wings jersey that I still have that actually fits me is a Darren McCarty jersey for good reason. Because, he was the grinder. He was the physical guy. He set the tempo. I respect guys like that.
Like, you've watched the Iceman play. Like, I've seen you skate. I think you could go out and do that for a shift or two.
Yeah. Probably.
Seriously. Like, they're going to be faster than you. They're better than you. I'm not trying to disrespect them like that, but I've seen you on skates. Like, I think you could do that for a shift for a couple minutes, like, without people noticing, like, who the heck is that? Well, if I went out there, like, when I go play for the Jacksonville Giants, people are like, what the heck is this guy
That's because you have a GoPro strapped to yourself, and you're not taking it seriously. So,
just serious enough to have the most points ever.
Okay.
By a media member in the ABA.
But once again, it was more like but it was more like a feel-good moment. Like, hey, let's get this guy. Like, see, I joined the team. It's like, well, wait, is he part of the team? Like, people didn't know what I was doing. They thought I actually signed to the roster. I was so good.
That's 'cause you're
Mr.
6'6".
Thanksgiving, thank you very much.
You're 6'6", 245. Meanwhile, there's this white guy, 5'10", knocking down threes, grabbing rebounds. That's me.
Didn't stop Larry Bird from making excuses. Yeah, but Larry
7
Bird
points.
You think Larry Bird had the excuses like that?
How many points did you have?
Like total, like fantasy points more than you did because I had 2 blocks. I had
I'll pull up the promo. It's still in.
Yeah.
You can pull up his promo. I'll show you the tape.
If there was an ABA FanDuel, I got like 8 times back my value that night.
I can't play FanDuel.
I have 9 career points. I have 9 career points in the ABA. Until you top that, you can be
in one game or how many
stocking
games?
Stuffer or the Thanksgiving stuffer.
How many games, Brent?
That's 3. I went scoreless 1 game.
So you're averaging 3 points a game in ABA.
Yeah, I went scoreless because the game was too close. They couldn't get me in.
I got that in 2 minutes, though.
What's the plan, by the way, if the winger gets by you on the ice? You hooking him, you tripping him, or you just hoping he misses
You got
the
to go
shot?
trip him, man. That'd be fun. It's fun when the guys trip a little bit. Go diving.
Like if he's faster,
if he gets past me?
Yeah, like I'm just saying.
I'm going to catch up to him. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Casey, I guess you haven't seen me skate before, huh?
No, I've seen you skate.
Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm just saying.
I'm not going to lie. I got a lot of looks when I yelled, I'm a 5'10" white guy.
Well, and that's what you get. Casey, in case you need a little refresher, go ahead and Google Pavel Bure right now, and you can see what I skate like. Because people have told me I look like Pavel Bure. Is that good? I don't know. They call him the Russian Rocket. I'm Norwegian, but
he's a good player.
I don't know. I'm trying to pull up another music bed because we're still going.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and we're way out of time.
Can you play Raw at the Barrel again?
We got our FSU report. FSU report coming up next. We have lost control of the show. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. I blame Casey. We'll be back from String Sports Brewery here in Springfield.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Keeping the umbrella nearby today. We'll have a mix of clouds and sun. It'll be quite warm, but also with some scattered showers from time to time as temperatures approach 80 degrees. A few showers into this evening, down to near 60, and partly sunny and quite warm again tomorrow. Your Friday high in the upper 70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
CMG Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit cmglocalsolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. That's cmglocalsolutions.com or call 904-245-8878.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-333-1750. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
Boss! Got some bad news in the Crooks R Us newsletter.
Uh-oh, what is it?
The headline reads, Safe Touch Security proven to be more dangerous to crooks than ever before.
Let me guess. Is it the guaranteed response? No, it's gotta be the two-way communicator, right?
Actually, it's the new integrated Safe Touch Security video cameras.
Great. Safe Touch up in their game again.
Boss, now the homeowner gets notified on the Safe Touch app if someone even approaches their house.
It just doesn't seem fair.
Nowadays, getaway cars aren't even safe. Those Safe Touch systems catch everything.
Well, the good news is it doesn't change a thing. We still just stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule, stay away from Safe Touch houses. Remember that and everything will be fine.
Now, for a limited time, the Safe Touch Advantage plan includes free equipment and installation for new customers with an Advantage monitoring agreement. The Safe Touch doorbell camera, a $200 value, can be added for just $99. Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
There's no way that's used. Get ready, because you're going to hear that a lot after you buy an amazing, like-new, pre-owned from our friends over at Arlington Toyota. Arlington's got 300 used available. All makes, all models. deals. Plus, you'll buy with total confidence thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange program that comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
If you're getting engaged, celebrating an anniversary, birthday, or shopping early for the holidays, you do not want to miss Beard's Diamond's incredible 41st anniversary sale.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 41% off.
Yes, 41% off.
It's Beard's Diamond's incredible anniversary sale, going on now until November 30th.
All GIA certified loose diamonds, all designer settings, pendants, bracelets, earrings, engagement rings.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to 41% off.
Believe it.
For over 4 decades, families have been shopping at Beard's Diamonds for the absolute lowest prices.
Now to say thank you, everything in the store is discounted up to 41% off.
Nobody beats Beard's Diamonds prices.
If you're popping the question soon, celebrating a big anniversary, or even shopping early for the holidays,
now you can go even bigger and save thousands.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to 41% off.
Beard's Diamonds will never be beat on price.
At the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
Lowe's Provember event is back. In celebration of pros, we're offering special values on top tools to get any job done right. Head into Lowe's and check out the largest selection of DeWalt power tools and accessories. Right now, you can get a guaranteed tough DeWalt 20-volt max bare tool free when you buy a DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kit. Shop in-store or order online. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Valid through 1/5 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
You know, I thought offense maybe had the best Tuesday practice we've had all year. I mean, it was impressive seeing those guys fly around. Really took to the game plan, some of the things that we're asking them to do this week, and you know, I thought the focus on the fundamentals, the details, and just really going out and working to execute. I mean, it was an impressive day.
That is Mike Norvell, Florida State head football coach. Brent Martineau back here at String Sports Brewery in Springfield. Action Sports Shack Studios filled with Austin Lane and Casey Kurtz. Let's get to our FSU report. Florida State 3-6 on the season. They got 3 games to go. Got to win them all, essentially. But let Casey Kurtz tell us the entire story.
Yeah, I will do that. And we're going to start, though. The microphone went the wrong way. Sorry about that. We're going to start with basketball because that's a thing, and we're going to keep the FSU report going. This is not just a football activity. So if you listen to ESPN 690 at all hours of the day, which you probably should, you would have heard FSU win 105-70 over Penn last night in the opener. 4 guys, all 3 of the 4 were seniors, scored in double digits. And the impressive part here is Matthew Cleveland, who was a 5-star guard that came in the recruiting class last year. By the way, pretty weird when you look up the 24/7 recruiting class for basketball and there's 3 dudes. Like, that's just how basketball works, I guess. You only recruit a couple dudes, which makes sense. But, yeah, so he was one of the 5 stars they got. He had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in 20 minutes in a blowout game, which was a good job by the coaching staff to get him in as a 5-star, highly touted freshman in a game that was a blowout. So we'll move away from basketball, but just keep in mind that FSU and Florida will play at 1 p.m. on Sunday. That has been a rivalry recently dominated by Florida State. You got Tulane coming to FSU next Wednesday at 8 p.m., and obviously both of those games will be right here on ESPN 690. But now we'll shift to football and something that I think we all thought was going to happen, and that was a loss to NC State, 28-14. They are, as you mentioned, 3-6. Influenza hit the program. I don't know why it's continuously being called influenza and not just the flu. So maybe I'm missing something, but that's where, if you read the headlines, it will say influenza. 20 players were out, including Jordan Travis. They could not run the ball as expected. Only 1.4 1.4 yards per carry, which is not good. They did score a rushing touchdown, though, so that makes 2 that NC State's given up this season. So that's pretty cool. Keir Thomas had 2 sacks. He also had 1.5 against Clemson, 3.5 in the last 2 games. He's playing well. He is a transfer, go figure, on that defensive line with Jermaine Johnson. And at the end of the day, NC State was just a better team. You had players out, so there was really not much you could do other than what you did. So looking ahead to this week, you've got Miami, the oldest rivalry for FSU. Mike Norvell talked a lot about it on the FSU Coaches Show, which you can hear on ESPN 690s on Tuesdays right after Josh Scobie, Brent Martineau, and Austin Lane chatted up at Topgolf. So look for that next week. But Miami had a weird start to the season. They started 2-4. De'Aaron King, who some people picked to win the Heisman, some people being me, he got hurt, and he's done for them. Manny Diaz was on the ropes. Everybody thought he was going to get fired mid-season. However, they rattle off 3 straight wins against a very good NC State team, a very good Pitt team, and a decent Georgia Tech team. They all won by 4 points or less, and they scored 30 or more in all of those games, and that's mostly because of Tyler Van Dyke, who has taken over the quarterback duties for Miami. He's thrown for 1,877 yards with 63% completion, 15-4, and a 165.7 rating, which seems really good.
Yeah.
So, by the way, guy I forgot about on the Miami offense is Charleston Rambo. He was electric for Oklahoma. He transferred to Miami, and he's been great.
What a name, too.
Right? Great name.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 name. 58 catches, 859, and 5 touchdowns. He's a very good player. And their defensive line is not too shabby either. So when you're looking at this game specifically, also more and more visits are being announced for this game for Florida State. As far as I know, there are 3 5-stars going to be in attendance. Marvin Jones Jr., not that one, but he is an edge rusher from Miami, so that would be interesting. Javonte Barnes, who's a running back from Las Vegas, and then Kamari Wilson he currently is at IMG in Bradenton. He will be in attendance as well, and more are pouring in. So Mike Norvell's trying to get everybody on campus at one time for a visit, and hopefully that works, but it seems like a bold strategy against a decent Miami team. Every Power 5 school has scored 30 or more points against Miami this season, which is interesting. The problem is I don't know if FSU can keep up with that no matter who's playing quarterback, whether it be Jordan Travis healthy or Mackenzie Milton. Winning man coverage, by the way, FSU is 96th or worse in the country in yards per attempt, yards per completion, and passer rating, which means that's a very good matchup for Tyler Van Dyke and a bad matchup for FSU because he's going to be throwing it all around the field. And frankly, I think this one might get ugly. The spread is consensus FSU plus 2.5. Although the money line is different in different places. Hard Rock plus 120, MyBookie plus 115, and Bovada plus 110. The over-under is roughly 60.5 in most places, and I think that's the only thing you can bet would be the over 60.5.
There you go. That is the FSU Report, brought to you by Bono's Pit Barbecue and Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue from here at String Sports Brewery. I feel like, guys, that Florida State had built a little momentum. It's okay to lose to Clemson. Clemson's not good this year, but it's still okay to lose. Would have been nice to get them. But now I feel like they've got to maybe beat Miami or Florida to make this kind of feel like it's turning in Tallahassee. Boston College doesn't do the trick, even though Boston College is probably good enough to beat FSU. But I feel like they got to get one of these, and this might be the most likely one to get. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you here, Brent. This is still a team that had some momentum rolling into these past 2 games. Didn't go their way. You want to end the season on a good note. You got these big recruits coming in. For sure, this is a game that people are going to be watching, obviously, because, it's kind of a tale of 2 directions right now. Well, actually, it's a tale of the same direction where Miami's kind of got some swag about him once again. People ready to write Manny Diaz off, and now look at him. I mean, no one's talking about him losing his job. You have the Florida State Seminoles who, they're playing better than what we expected when we first saw them the first couple of weeks. So you have 2 teams right now that are kind of finding their groove. Yeah, it's a big game for sure.
For what it's worth, Brent, Miami is definitely better than South Carolina. I just want to throw that out there.
That they are.
Yeah, I know, but I do think the talent level on Florida, now who knows what the state of mind is for Florida, but the talent level is so much better. I'm not so sure the talent level at Miami is that much better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Miami has recruited well, and those guys Manny Diaz might not be the thing, but they're playing hard for him now. Maybe the quarterback change has been able to guys like Rambo, for example, who's a receiver that wasn't getting as many targets as he should have under De'Aaron King, is now flourishing in the system. So maybe the quarterback change makes everybody play better and the talent gets better, because obviously if you're looking on the other side with Florida in the matchup, you said they have to win one of the two. None of the quarterback play is being elevated anybody else on the field for Florida. It is for Miami.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, this guy's come in and done a nice job. But I do think they need – this will be a really important win for them. ESPN 690 will have your coverage. Florida State football, of course. That will happen on Saturday at 1:30. And then I believe we have the basketball game on Sunday afternoon, of course, for Florida State Hoops. And the Hoop team did look good. Cameron Fletcher, the transfer from Kentucky, Malik Osborne. I mean, those guys had big nights as well. So really good showing in the opener for Florida State. All right, let's take a break. We come back from String Sports Brewery here in Springfield. Stuart Weber should join us. The latest, Odell Beckham Jr. going to the Rams. That is pretty much official now, I believe. And so that's the big news. Some big-name guys in the NFL on the move. Are they just big names, or do they still have the game? We're about to find out. Cam Newton, Odell Beckham Jr., as they arrive with new teams, Carolina and the Rams, respectively. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He finds the promised land. Touchdown, FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
Outside the numbers to the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. It's a touchdown, Florida State. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line. Noles win. Noles win.
Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long, right here on your home for Florida State football.
Sponsored by Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-519-3035. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-519-3035. That's 800-519-3035. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Do you know what it takes to be a successful business owner? If so, share your advice with someone who is eager to learn from your experience. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE is always looking for people willing to offer their time and expertise to mentor current or aspiring entrepreneurs. We need volunteers from all areas of business, including accounting, finance, human resources, sales and marketing, as well as legal. If you're interested in joining our team, click on the volunteer tab at jacksonville.score.org.
As the seasons change, there's one thing that never changes: the importance of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean, and that's also why our family has a Connecticut system from CGC Water. Yours can too. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Connecticut Premier Softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Financing available with approved credit. Just call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
My name is Sanjay Patani, and I'm an emergency medicine physician. It's the after effects of getting COVID that the young population should be concerned about. There's chronic fatigue syndrome, blood clotting disorders, heart problems. There are long chronic lung problems. The essence of this vaccine is not to prevent you from getting coronavirus. It is from preventing you from getting seriously ill and potentially dying.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Hospital Association, the Florida Medical Association, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
You love Zoom for video meetings?
Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Whether on your radio, on your phone, or your smart speaker.
Now playing ESPN Radio.
He's seen guys that's not even going to make the team. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards in a game.
Wake up with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Is that your given name, Joshua?
It is, unfortunately. It's a cool name until you turn like 7. So, yeah, as an adult, when people call you Josh, you're like, yeah, whatever.
I'm trying to think if I
like
know
Austin.
anybody that goes by Joshua.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
But it's weird that, like, Stewart, Stuart Weber, Action Sports Jax, goes by Stewart. He doesn't want to go by Stu.
No, he does not like
Then you sound like a soup.
That's a good point. Yeah. A nice, a nice hearty stew.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his reasoning, but maybe we've got to the bottom of this.
Well, what he told me was that his name
Not
is
the soup.
Art. Yeah. But he told me the first time I called him Stu was that his name is Art, and he appreciates it when it's Stewart.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude.
I don't know, Weber. Maybe it's a little bit more about STEW kind of stew.
No, the line I've always used, and Austin almost had it.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
We've heard it. We try to avoid you saying this line.
I'm saying it. When you call me Stu, it takes a piece of art out of my name.
That's what it was.
And we don't want that to happen.
It's just awful.
It is, but it's been rocking for like 30 years.
Can I call
30
you
years
Hardy
I don't know.
You say that line like 3 times a year. I don't know how you've made it this far.
Yeah, it's been great. It's also still single, but here we are. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Who knows? Maybe I should
kill the line. Kill the line.
Change all the profiles to just say Stu now. Is that going to help?
I think whether you're on Tinder or whatever you're rolling with these days, or even on Twitter, it should be Hardy Stew.
Hardy Stew.
Hardy Stew.
Hardy Stew. Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
You're going for Worldwide Weber. Maybe Hardy Stew is where it's at, man.
I'm sorry. Is Worldwide Weber up there with the consideration?
I mean, that's
because I'll tell you right now, no.
You don't love Worldwide Weber?
No, we're all set, dude.
Dude, okay.
Hardy Stew, please.
By the way, let us know anyway. What is the dating game these days? Is it Bumble? Is it Tinder? Is it what do we got?
What's up, Brent? You okay?
It's
everything good at home?
I think everything's fine.
Okay, because you're talking about bun cakes a couple days ago. Now all of a sudden you guys on the rocks. We all good? Okay. Go ahead, Stuart.
Hinge is the hot app these days, by the way. Hinge.
Butt cakes could bring us together, by the way.
What's the one where the girls got to ask the guys out?
That was Bumble.
Sadie Hawkins dance, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, is that one still big?
I'm not sure.
I mean, that one's the way to do it, I think.
Yeah, that was
because
good.
It takes the pressure off the guy, and then the girls don't, get creeped up by all these creepers out there.
They're gonna get creeped out no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be honest.
People lie.
Online dating.
So it's called Hinge is the latest?
Yeah.
Hinge.
Like how do these keep popping up? Is this like a cryptocurrency? Like you just kind of refine
people keep on being
version?
single, Brent. What did you think was going to happen?
It's like, but like crypto world is like Bitcoin. Okay, we're going to make Bitcoin even better. It's Ethereum. We're going to make that even better. It's this. It's like, is that kind of what the dating apps are?
Yeah, I mean, they're all different in their own different way.
Yeah.
They're evolving, as is the world.
I mean, have you seen the divorce rates these days in this climate? Of course there's going to be dating apps.
Yeah, well, I don't think it takes a climate for a divorce rate to be high.
I don't know what it takes, man.
Yeah,
I'm doing
I just
good
think
and I'm
it takes
happy.
living.
I'm not saying anything.
So how about those sports?
Yeah, what the hell? I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. is going to the Rams.
Yeah, I did see that.
Thoughts?
Would you add Odell Beckham Jr. back? Do I have him on my fantasy team still? Or did I drop him? Should I now play Odell Beckham Jr. on my fantasy team if I have him?
I don't know. Van Jeffers is probably not happy.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I
the
would
other
think
Rams
so.
guys. You're gonna lose a lot of catches to
Robert
a
Woods
diva,
owners in shambles right now.
A diva who's gonna demand that he gets a certain amount of targets.
Can you imagine Jalen Ramsey and him on the same team?
I was thinking of that in practice, though. That
I
could
hope
be
they
really
fight in
good.
practice and both break their hands and are out for the year.
Yeah,
Oh,
but,
my
but-
God.
Yeah, but we're not going to see it because they still. I mean, all the stuff that's going on in Las Vegas, the least you guys could have did was release the Hunter Renfro footage, but they never did that either.
No.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't do that.
Because it probably never happened. It was probably an
fictional.
urban legend.
Did you guys see, actually, I didn't know this, but next week's like the first Indy mid-season installment of Hard Knocks?
Oh.
Oh, is that when it's starting up?
Yeah, so does that, I would assume
I'd
the
have cleared
Jags
the
would be a
schedule.
part of that.
I'm not sure. It depends. I mean, I would assume so.
I don't know how long the cameras have been there, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like, I don't know if they've
Yeah.
been, this is going to be like a compilation of the first 8 games.
But you would think if it's in season, it would probably be pretty current and up to date. You would
I
hope.
would think so.
Yeah.
I would think, yeah, why would you go revisit everything, right? Maybe a little bit, but
Yeah. I mean, what is there to see the first 8 weeks? Carson Wentz's ankles swollen? Like, that's all you get.
that's all you get.
Yeah.
Now you can see Jonathan Taylor running wild.
There you
hey,
go.
Weber, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really didn't
He didn't
contribute
really do
anything yet,
anything.
so yeah, I
Actually,
figured I
yes,
would
you
stick
did.
around
All
for
right,
a little
so
bit.
Hinge and Bumble, thanks. Stuart.
Yeah,
We'll see you later.
just really providing some good quality stuff here.
Hinge, Bumble, and a little soup.
Yeah, hearty
for the
hearty
soul,
stew.
all from Stewart.
Yeah.
Worldwide Weber. String Sports
we're off
Brewery is
that.
where we're at. Football at 5. You discuss in the break. We'll be back and talk more football on ESPN 690.
Whether you're a rock-solid hard athlete or a hardcore fan, in Little League, a pro, or a weekend warrior, Cora Physical Therapy is here to help you reach your goals. We're happy to announce that Cora is now open in Kingsland, on Boone and Haddock, and we're coming soon to Brunswick. With a total of 17 clinics in the Jacksonville region, there's sure to be one near your home or work. Call or come in today for a free screening. No physician's referral needed. CoraPhysicalTherapy.com, treating everyone right.
Camrys, Corollas, RAV4s, Tundras, and more. When you're ready to buy a new Toyota, you've got to get to Arlington Toyota. At Arlington Toyota, they've got 300 new Toyotas available, plus interest rates as low as 0% on over 10 new Toyota models. 0%. Plus, you get 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. And every new car purchase gets a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Shop ArlingtonToyota.com today. Visit ArlingtonToyota.com/November for full details.
Nights of Lights dazzles with more than 3 million lights in the historic district of St. Augustine. Now imagine doubling those lights as they reflect off the water during your tour with Redboat Tours. Avoid downtown crowds by boarding at Beach's Restaurant Marina at 250 Volano Road. Then sit back and let Captain Tony and Miss Jennifer take you on a tour you'll never forget. Don't settle for imposters. Make no mistake, Redboat Tours is St. Augustine's only USA Today Reader's Choice Best Boat Tour 3 years running. Book your Nights of Lights tours now at redboattours.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
CMG Local Solutions. Visit cmglocalsolutions.com today.
Hey, you were supposed to be here 10 minutes ago.
Boss, I'm a little freaked out right now.
What's wrong?
It's Safe Touch Security and their video monitoring systems. They're popping up everywhere.
Oh, for a minute you had me worried.
Boss, my next door neighbor's got Safe Touch video monitoring, the place across the street's got it, and now I notice there's one next door to the one across the street.
Keep it together now.
Boss, I'm surrounded. It's never been more dangerous to be a crook.
Whoa, easy. Look, you're not planning to break into your neighbor's house, are you?
Well, no.
Problem solved. Don't steal their TV and everything will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me feel better.
Oh, good. But when we're working, we still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah.
Now get over here. We got work to do. Now, for a limited time, the Safe Touch Advantage plan includes free equipment and installation for new customers with an Advantage monitoring agreement. The Safe Touch doorbell camera, a $200 value, can be added for just $99. Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Meet Bob Minetti. In 2016, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Bob participated in a clinical trial that included cutting-edge radiation therapy and surgery. He's been in remission since completion. I'm Keisha Sharp. Since losing my mother to pancreatic cancer, I've been working to share the kind of state-of-the-art work being done by Stand Up to Cancer and Lust Garden Foundation. To learn more about the latest research, including clinical trials, visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're celebrating Pork Rind Appreciation Day on the biggest day in football because pork rinds and pigskin just go together. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds has teamed up with Coach Ditka's Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund to salute the legends of the game. Enter for your chance to win $5,000 and a year's supply of low-carb, protein-packed pork rinds at southernrecipe.com. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Visit your local Tractor Supply Company today for your Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. Wideout Odell Beckham Jr. will sign with the Los Angeles Rams. Beckham became a free agent this week after he was waived by the Browns. The Rams will play the 49ers on Monday Night Football. And after passing his physical today, quarterback Cam Newton signs with the Carolina Panthers, the team that drafted him back in 2011. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Newton will get a one-year deal for the rest of the season worth $4.5 million guaranteed. With the Jets handing the offense over to quarterback Mike White, ESPN's Sal Palantonio says the team could have used a veteran backup months ago.
You know you're going to have growing pains with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. You know you're going to have that, and it's the Jets. They're trying to rebuild a team that only won 2 games last year.
Sal Palantonio on KJ and Max. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Bulls center Nikola Vucevic has tested positive for COVID-19. Vucevic is fully vaccinated, so he'll be out for 10 days or until he has 2 negative tests in 24 hours.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Standard of excellence. I mean, I thought we played the most complete game, 4 full quarters on defense. There were some things that happened, but, it was on to the next play. I thought our guys really worked well together. All 11, not just, hey, the front rushed well. You can't rush well if you're not covering. You can't cover well if you're not rushing. So those go hand in hand, whether it's a 4-man rush, whether you're bringing a pressure, whether you're having a simulated pressure. It doesn't matter. Rush and coverage got to work together.
That is Joe Cullen, Jaguars defensive coordinator, put together a heck of a game plan against the Buffalo Bills. Can he do the same coming up on Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts? Brent Martineau from String Sports Brewery. Each and every Thursday, we got Jaguars All Access coming up. Shaq Griffin will join us. That's at 7 o'clock. You can come here to Strings. You can watch it on Fox 30, of course. And Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz, Stuart Weber in the Action Sports Shacks studios. Football at 5 is what we say. We'll pick the Thursday night game coming up in a little bit. Maybe even talk a shade of high school football and get a head start on that in a moment. But the big stories, guys, in the NFL, Cam Newton, Odell Beckham Jr., and I said this before the break, more name than game. Do you think these guys will perform well with their new teams? Cam with Carolina and Odell Beckham Jr. now with the LA Rams.
Personally, I mean, I like the Cam Newton move simply because it's Carolina and he's got familiarity with everything that has to do with, you know, the city, the stadium, the practice. Now, obviously, different coaching regime, you know, than he's used to with Matt Rule in charge there. But I still think that familiarity pays off when you're coming in mid-season, coming off of, being on the street for a couple months. So, personally, if there was a team for him to go to, I think this is a good fit for him to go jump right back into something he's familiar with.
Yeah, I think they're kind of the same thing. I mean, there's, Cam Newton has been stored in that organization for a long time. It is going to be a new scheme, but, if you have a healthy Christian McCaffrey,
that doesn't hurt either.
That doesn't hurt either, in terms of the check down, if you will. It's not like Robbie Anderson was getting a lot of passes anyways from Sam Darnold, so that's not going to really maybe change much. You have a guy with Cam Newton that you haven't really had in a while with DJ Moore, who, when Cam Newton was back in Carolina, you had guys like Kelvin Benjamin. You had guys like Curtis Samuel, who, they were okay players, but wasn't really the go-to one receiver. Now you have that in Moore as well. So, the situation that Cam Newton finds himself in, it's a good one. And then as far as Odell Beckham Jr. is concerned, this is going to be a pass-first team now with Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay calling the shots. I think he can succeed in L.A. It's a matter of, will there be too many cooks in the kitchen? Is there too many targets to go around? And how is Odell Beckham Jr. going to act if he is the third guy getting the looks? If it is Robert Woods first? If it is Cooper Kupp first? How is he going to respond to that?
I loved, by the way, the tweet from Damian Wilson, Jaguars linebacker. Yeah. Where are the Rams getting all this money?
Oh, yeah. There's no salary cap. Damian, come on, man. You should know better than that.
Yeah. And it makes you – I was trying to think of the Odell Beckham thing. The Odell Beckham thing's weird. It seems like a lot of teams stayed away. It seems like a couple teams were in the mix. Obviously, he wanted to go to certain teams. But the Rams, seriously, with no money, find a way to figure it out. And all these other teams with money are like, all right, well, we'll be just okay. We're not really trying to get that many wins. And I really just feel like the Jags, and again, I think the Jags were the agent of Odell Beckham Jr. in this situation, with the Jags, with the Lions, with anybody else, basically deterred those kind of teams from going after Odell Beckham Jr., the way they probably phrased the contract. So let's start there. I'm not blaming the Jags necessarily, but I think the Jags are in a place where, you could talk draft if you want, if they get 3 or 4 wins and they end up with a top 5 pick. But it's also okay, if they get 6 wins and end up with the 14th pick. You know what I mean? It's not that year. This is not it. Now, for the Texans, they might be playing that game. The Jags are not playing that game. So winning as many games as possible this year, whatever you can do to help, when you still have $29 million, I think it is, in cap space, I don't know. I don't know if the two go hand in hand. Are you really trying to win as many games as possible if you still have $29 million in cap space? I think that's a fair question. I think that's a fair criticism. Now, a team like the Indianapolis Colts, you can ask that too. They've got a ton of cap space, and I know they're trying to win, but they haven't won as much, so you can criticize them for maybe they haven't spent enough around that football team, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Colts and the Jaguars, they're separate entities right now. I think with the Jaguars, yes, you have a lot of money to spend. But to me, you don't spend that money until all the other pieces are put in place in terms of your foundation. And right now, that foundation isn't put in place. We've seen what happens when you build a foundation on a free agency. It might work a year. It might work 2 years, but you can't get consistent success year in and year out if you think that way. So I think that the proper way to build a franchise, to build up a team, to build a culture is you build through the draft, you build through the guys that you want, and then when you're set and you want to take the next step, then you spend the high price free agent guys, kind of like the Rams have done now. I mean, the Rams are all in, right? The Rams have the talent to go to the Super Bowl. They've showed that in the past. Now they're just spending where it's hey, this is all or nothing. Let's see what we can do. Let's get Von Miller. Let's get Beckham Jr., and let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they are definitely in that mode, and there is that kind of thinking, and GMs around the league think that way. It's like, all right, where are we at right now? Is this where we want to spend our money? Do we save a little money and spend it in next year, or is it 2023 because we think that's the year we're going to compete for like the big time? Our quarterbacks in year 3, all this stuff. I mean, the Jags did that, but you could argue the Jags did that like in the 13, 14, 15, 16 build too late. Like, they waited too long to get some of those guys. Mm-hmm. And so you got to time it right and where your roster is at. But, again, I mean, it's hard to say win right now where there are players the Jags could have acquired maybe or could have spent more money. Now, it also can deter, if you make the wrong moves, it could put you against things next year. So there's a lot to think about in that regard. Back to the Odell Beckham. Why did he pick the Rams? He's got Stafford. Apparently the report is that they throw the football first, instead of run it, and then he'll get single coverage because of the other guys. So he feels he has a chance to succeed there. But I think Stewart said it earlier. I mean, the guy that was coming on and that was reliable is Van Jefferson. And Van Jefferson, the former Gator, has had himself a nice couple of years out there in L.A. I guess his snap count's about to go down, Stewart.
Yeah. You just have to hope that if you're him and the coaching staff is going to preach this, that, the rising tide lifts all boats. I think that's kind of the idea you have to go with, where if one guy does well, then, hey, that's going to take more pressure off you as that third receiver or whatever number you get slotted in as. The attention given to another guy is going to help you out. Now go take advantage of your opportunities.
Was that a Ted Lasso quote?
I think it was from well before Ted Lasso, but it wouldn't surprise me if Ted Lasso would use it as well.
It's pretty wholesome. I like that.
Yeah.
It is very wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. You still haven't seen Ted Lasso, right?
No, we're all good, right? Plenty of other shows out there, Brent. I
don't have time
for wholesome comedies right now. Sorry.
We'll get you there in the off season.
Yeah, we're all good. Brent, did you finish Squid Game?
I didn't start it.
I'm out.
You all right?
I'm out, man.
I mean,
he's angry.
It's football season.
It is football season.
So
I haven't finised Ted Lasso. I haven't watched it in I've like 6 episodes.
He's busy, Austin. He does a lot of things.
So am I, but you got to make time for monumental shows.
Okay, I will. By the way, and on my preferred list of watching right now, is it's not Squid Game.
What is it? It's that. Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, yep.
Yeah, because that came out like Sunday, the premiere. Now, what I might do, I don't know how many episodes there are, but I might wait so I can watch like 5 of them all at once.
Have you seen Yellowstone, Stuart?
I have not. Just the park.
Kevin Costner being this gangster type of deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all set, huh? We're all set. Kevin Costner wearing a cowboy hat and trying to boss people around in a rundown town. We're all set. We're all good.
Meanwhile, you got people killing people playing tic-tac-toe.
I'm telling you, you find out what people's motives are, Brent, okay? It's a psychological and a gory thriller. It's got it all.
I'm kind of in the boat that it's a good thing not everybody has to watch all the same things, and we can all watch our own shows. And
I guess so.
Have
you seen Squid Game, Stuart?
I don't have the Netflix, no. Sorry.
You don't have the
I don't
Get
have the
off
Netflix.
your high horse.
Sorry.
Get off your high horse, Stuart.
Wasn't free. I don't have that one. So.
Okay. I got you.
You got to get that, I guess, Weber. You got to be able to see everything.
I got to find someone I can make a trade with, yeah. Find somebody who needs like a HBO Max account, and then I can do a little swap-a-roo.
Oh, so you have an HBO Max account. You have a Netflix account.
Sure do.
Interesting.
Came with the cable.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nicely done. Yeah. Well, you have to get your Game of Thrones in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the swap-a-roos with people,
Yep.
Hey, just an update for everybody on the Jags injury report. That came out this afternoon, about an hour ago. And Miles Jack did not practice for a second day in a row. James Robinson moves up to limited, didn't practice yesterday. Claybrook's limited, coming out of that concussion protocol. Trevor Lawrence limited 2 days in a row. Cam Robinson still limited. Gotsis had a personal day yesterday and practiced full. Meanwhile, for the Colts, just Jack Doyle and Rhodes did not practice both days. Meanwhile, DeForest Buckner and Carson Wentz limited today. They weren't even on the injury report yesterday. T.Y. Hilton did practice in full, and so did Darius Leonard. So an interesting combination there for both teams, but now starting to wonder about Miles Jack. Doesn't look good for the Jags linebacker. How much would that impact the defense? He's coming off a really nice game, Austin.
No, for sure. you need all hands on deck right now, and especially against a Colts team that is going to test these linebackers, whether it's with the tight ends or with the running back. So depending what happens with the situation, it's one to keep an eye on, because if you can't have all hands on deck, it could be an issue.
One good thing for the Jaguars, though, is they do have a little bit of experience in playing without Miles. Obviously, he didn't make the trip to London, and the Jaguars still able to go get a victory over there, even without him, although it was the Dolphins.
The Dolphins,
yes.
Well, here's the thing that it gets my attention. Miles, I think, is a very good player. I think Miles played well last week. I think he's been inconsistent
really well in
so
Seattle
far this year. But I think the thing that concerns me is that this team just had a very good communication day after having a very bad communication day in Seattle. And defensive communication has been an issue a lot this year. So I think once you start taking somebody out, now I understand he's not calling the plays, he's not the quarterback there, he's a linebacker. Probably a little bit better than losing somebody in the secondary in terms of communication. But I like the way – you're not going to keep everybody healthy all the time. I understand that. But that would be my one thing. I'm like, okay, now will they be in sync? Whoever jumps in there, are they going to communicate right? Mm-hmm. And are they going to be on the right play and whatever, the right landmark, all this stuff that – you just worry about a little bit with this team, because we've seen them not be great at the communication part. I think this is going to be an offensive game anyway. Listen, I don't think the Jags are going to give up 9 or 13 points or 6 or 13 points in this game. I think the Colts are going to get in the 20s, which means the Jags are going to have to score, I believe, 27 plus. And they just came off a game and really 2 games where their offense couldn't do much. So the big story here is really James Robinson as he gets back on the field. I think the expectation is James Robinson will play. But to open up the things that we've talked about this week in the passing game, for Trevor to kind of get back on track and build some momentum the second half of the season and really play well, I think James Robinson's got to play, and that becomes the key to Sunday right now. If the Jags can score some points, it's going to all work around number 25.
It has to, because you have to be able to, you got to put up points for sure, but you also have to be able to control the clock against an offense right now that seems to be firing on all cylinders for the Indianapolis Colts. So, James Robinson playing, I think it would be a huge jolt for this Jaguars offense. It helps Trevor Lawrence out a little bit, who, and maybe we're not critical enough of Trevor, but, the past couple of games hasn't been his best showing. He's going to need a good showing against the Colts defense that can be pretty vulnerable, at least we've seen with guys like, Mike White. So hopefully James Robinson can go and he's all speed ahead, because he definitely helps this offense become a little more dynamic, and he puts the defense on their heels a little more.
Yeah, the key thing to watch here, too, is turnovers, because the Colts have been very good. Going into last week, they were tied for the league lead in forced turnovers. And Leonard has been a big part of that with forced fumbles and the like. So, in fact, in the Jets game, didn't he do the old punch? Like, it was clear as day. He punched out that ball. That was a pretty good play. So, they've got it's interesting how you can be, like, second in the league and only be 4 and 5 in that category. But they are very good in that category. Maybe the Jags now. They come in bunches, you say, Austin.
That they do, man.
Maybe
they
the Jags
come in bunches.
Can get a few more. Okay, Stuart Weber, before we get you out of here, high school football tomorrow. Let's take a quick peek ahead. We got a game, I think, tonight as well.
Yeah.
Give us the lowdown on the playoffs. It's do or die time now in high school football.
Yeah, it's win or go home. Do or die.
I like that.
Gotta get the victory.
More Ted Lasso references. Keep it going, Stuart.
Gotta believe.
Gotta do or die feels a little Squid Game-ish.
Do or die.
I guess that's a good point.
So as you mentioned, we've got one game tonight. It's Fleming Island on the road at Gainesville Buchholz, and that's going to be a tough ask for Fleming Island, because Buchholz is the top seed in that region and a team that has beaten Bartram Trail, Bowles, and Sandalwood this year. So they've got some pretty good victories under their belt. But, hey, you never know with Fleming Island. Getting hot at the right time of the year. They snuck their way into the postseason by winning some tightly contested games at the end of the year. So we'll see if the Golden Eagles can keep it going. That district is actually a really interesting one as we look at the first round of the playoffs. We all know that Fletcher won that district in 7A, and they earned the 4th seed in that region because of it. 3 other teams in that district all making the postseason. So Fleming Island, Nice, and Atlantic Coast all in there as well. So 4 out of the 8 teams in that region playoff coming from our local district in 7A. So we're certainly keeping an eye on that. I think the big theme of round 1 in the playoffs, at least from my vantage point, is rematches. We've got 3 really good rematches on the schedule teams that played each other back in district play, decided the district champ, and now they got a rematch going on in the postseason. So Riverside-Columbia has turned into a fantastic rivalry over the last few years. And in 2019, those two teams met both in the regular season and in the postseason. Both of those games went to overtime. The second one, double overtime. This year, it was Riverside losing a late lead to Columbia. So Columbia won that game 28-26, and with it, the right to host what is our de facto game of the week. As I say in the show, in the playoffs, every game is kind of a game of the week, just because, it's the playoffs. Everyone is huge. Everyone matters. But that's the one that's going to get top billing for us. Riverside and Columbia take 2.
I think Riverside, by the way, had 6 turnovers in that game and still only lost by 2.
Yeah, that's a lot. They are going to try to avoid doing that here in Lake City tomorrow night. So that's one of our rematch rivalry games we've got. We've got Parker and Rains. That was a 13-9 game the first time around. So defense reigning supreme there this year, or this time rather. It's going to be at the Graveyard. So we'll see how round 2 goes for that one, as well as Ed White and Baker County. So those are some of the rematches that I've got my eye on for Friday night that are going to be really exciting, really fun to see those district rivals meeting in the postseason. And heck, I like to spotlight some of the teams that have made huge turnarounds from last year to this year. Talking about Jackson at home for a playoff game. Just tremendous on their part. You talk about Bishop Kenny, who won once last year. They won 7 times this year. They got to go on the road out to the Panhandle and take on Wakulla, but a good run for them could continue. You never know how it's going to go when you got to make that trek out west, but certainly props to Bishop Kenny for their big turnaround. Talk about Nice with a big turnaround. Some of these schools that didn't do as well last year in what was a wacky, odd year, getting a chance for redemption this season, and it's really cool to see, at least from our perspective.
All right, well, we'll have the Blitz Scoreboard Show playoff edition tomorrow, 9 o'clock, right here on ESPN 690. Kevin Sullivan will join us. We got a couple more weeks left of that, a couple more weeks left of the Friday Night Blitz. That's at 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on
30 teams are left.
Fox 30.
30 teams.
30 to go.
As we do the countdown, which includes 5 in Georgia, by the way. A weird thing this year with the Georgia schedule, 3 of the games are actually be playing on Saturday. So some Saturday football up there in the Peach State.
All right. Well, we'll see the goal to get to December and still be playing football for so many of these teams. We'll see who can make it there. Coming up, it all starts tomorrow in the high school football playoffs. All right, Weber. Appreciate it, man. Thanks
Absolutely.
for stopping in.
Nicely done,
you're
man.
welcome to stay.
A good hearty segment.
Yeah. Some would say the hardiest. Brent, as we talk about those shows, it dawned on me, Squid Game's not for you, man. All right, too psychological, too in-depth thinking. You like more of those feel-good, those just kind of sit down, have some popcorn type of shows, like obviously Ted Lasso and Yellowstone.
Different strokes for different folks, man.
Did you just call me mentally weak?
I'm just saying, I think you like more of a popcorn TV show like Yellowstone, because I'm reading the synopsis. The series follows the conflicts along the shared borders of a large cattle ranch. Oh no! The first season, he took my oats. Gotta get my oats back. Oh no! The second season, all the crops are drying up. What are we gonna do? Kevin Costner, come save us! Yeah. I'm gonna skip that one. Appreciate it.
It's a little House in the Prairie-esque. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yep. Somebody called Laura Ingalls Wilder. Yeah, that's right. I called
Good
it.
name drop.
You
Good
better
drop.
believe it, man. I got you.
All right, Weber. It's safe to get out of here, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to run.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 rolls on from String Sports Brewery. 7 o'clock, Jaguars All Access. That comes up on Fox 30. 6 o'clock, by the way, Casey and Brian Middleton. Action Sports Jacks Extra, and that will lead into a little NFL football tonight with the Westwood One coverage on ESPN 690. We have the Ravens and the Dolphins. Is it a blowout? Well, let's go over the odds, the over-under, and who's going to win. We make our Thursday picks when we come back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A few scattered showers into this evening. Rather warm tonight under partly cloudy skies. Later on, will only drop to near 60 degrees. Partly sunny skies for Friday. It'll be mild. Highs reach the upper 70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
My name's Ashley Booth Norris. I am an emergency medicine physician. So COVID doesn't discriminate. Again, it affects people of every age, every race. It doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care who you are. It's affecting everyone. And so it's important for you to get vaccinated to protect yourself, those that you love, as well as everyone around you. We're racing against the clock here before the next variant comes around.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Hospital Association, the Florida Medical Association, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjacks.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
Ian Eagle and Ross Tucker here from Westwood One with a preview of Thursday Night Football. From Miami, we'll kick off Week 10 of the NFL season with AFC action when the Dolphins play host to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. All right, Ross, break it down for us.
Well, Ian, the Dolphins certainly feel good about themselves after their first win since Week 1, if you can believe that. They're trying to make it 2 in a row. As for the Ravens, every game counts. They had that thrilling comeback last week against the Vikings in overtime. They're trying to win the division. They're trying to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. They can't slip up against the Finns.
Ross, looking forward to it. Join us for the Ravens at the Dolphins coming up on Thursday Night Football.
Get ready for the game with more details and preview at westwoodonesports.com. And remember to listen for the NFL right here all season long.
O'Reilly. Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on wiper blades, headlight bulbs, and more. Right now, get up to a $20 gift card after mail-in rebate with the purchase of select Sylvania bulbs. Plus, earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Get ready for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Basket Brigade, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka, knows that any act of kindness makes a difference for many. Make your donation so that families in our community receive grocery gift cards to make their purchases. To donate, visit ESPN690.com. Thank you for donating to make a difference.
I mean, I don't know. I love football, so it don't really matter to me. You know, it's just the recovering part from the last game. But I'm good, dude. I'm ready to play, especially since South Florida.
That is Lamar Jackson. I saw this stat about Lamar Jackson today. 351 yards a game, which is more than like a dozen teams, I forget the number, are averaging this year.
Wow. Yeah.
How about that? You know?
Yeah.
But that being said, the Ravens have been kind of weird, right? I mean, the Ravens have won a bunch of overtime games. Feels like every game's in overtime. I think I gave the stat earlier in the week. They're 3-1 when trailing by double digits at halftime. Like, who in the history of football is 3-1 in that situation?
Wild, man.
Yeah. I mean, but so what is it about the Ravens this year? Is it their offense takes too long to come to life? Or is it their defense isn't kind of like the defense that we thought the Ravens would be?
Yeah, to me, this relies more on their defense and really their identity, because the success of the Ravens, since Lamar Jackson has been there, it's been running the football. It's been Lamar Jackson using his legs more than his arm. But the anomaly of this season is the fact that, just wait a second, Lamar Jackson can actually throw the ball as well, and he can use his legs. So the offense, to me, has maybe got a little bit of an upgrade in terms of, now he's truly a dual threat guy because he's beating you with his arm as well. Now the running back position is obviously taking a hit, but, they have wide receivers. Bateman's getting healthy. Mark Andrews is still being Mark Andrews. Hollywood Brown's maybe taking the next step forward. So they have weapons there on offense. The difference between the previous years and this year, though, is that their defense has been surrendering way too many points, has been giving up way too many plays. And that's not been, that has been the identity of a Jim Harbaugh coach team the past how long? I'm sorry, John Harbaugh, not Jim.
Yeah.
John.
John. Yep. Meanwhile, there's the Miami Dolphins. Is Tua even playing today? What's the latest, Casey Kurtz?
Is Will Fuller playing?
No, he's not.
Okay. Well, there you go again.
Yeah. There you go again. He would have been ready for Indy on Sunday.
Yeah, but Brent, for some reason, Brent wanted him here, but he's not playing again. No, is Tua playing? I have no idea. I'm sorry.
No.
He's not playing?
No.
Who's the backup again?
Jacoby Brissett.
That's right. Okay.
That's right.
That's right.
Excitable. That's right.
Well, no, because, he offers some, he's a dual threat guy himself. So it's like, to me, it's like dual threat versus dual threat tonight. I'm trying to hype the game up.
I'm critical of a lot of backup quarterbacks, and I wonder why Blake Bortles doesn't get more of a shot sometimes. Jacoby Brissett's not what I'm critical of. That guy's won games. He can. I think they feel pretty good with Jacoby Brissett as a backup. I think he is the backup that's the intended nature of the backup position. Is he can go in there. He's got some experience. He's played in a lot of football games. He's won football games.
Yeah.
He can go in there and not make mistakes. He's probably not going to go crazy and lead you to the win and on his shoulders type of thing. That's not the nature of the backup spot. So I think they feel good. Like when you say, the craziest thing is you say Tua can't play, but Jacoby Brissett's playing. I'm not sure it does anything to the way you thought the game was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, when Tua played against Jacksonville, I sat here and said that the ceiling when Tua is in is a lot higher as opposed to Jacoby Brissett. Now, maybe the Jacksonville game that was true because Tua had, maybe a career day against the Jaguars in London. But when it's all said and done, the next couple of weeks, it wasn't like Tua was really blowing the doors off of the league. So, yeah, I don't think you're really missing much now with Jacoby Brissett being in over Tua Tagovailoa.
Now, let's get to Captain Rick right now. Florida Sportsman Fishing Report's been hanging. Thanks for hanging around. Captain Rick, how was it today on the water?
I tell you what, it's getting better every day, Brent. In fact, yesterday turned out to be a little better than I thought, even when we went on the air yesterday. My buddy Captain Craig Sutton on the Fish-tastic fished just inshore of the Gulf Stream, mostly about 150 feet of water, and had 4 very nice mahi. All of them what we call gaffers, which are your bigger mahi, and that's a fine November day right there, I can tell you. Didn't get in on the wahoo, but pretty well stayed on the mahi all day. Said they missed several fish. They also caught a few kingfish. Inshore right now, catch and release flounder is awfully good, and the sheepshead are biting really well. Now, the sheepshead, for the most part, are still in the river. They're not as thick along the jetties as they are on rock piles further up in the river, and that makes it easy because we don't have that big easterly swell at the jetties. It makes it kind of hard and maybe even dangerous to anchor too close to the jetty. You can get swept into those rocks awfully careful if you're not, or awfully easily if you're not careful. Now, tomorrow is going to be kind of up in the air. I think it's going to be a mostly big boat day as our wind actually increases just a little bit out of the north. I don't think your smaller boats are going to be at the Gulf Stream tomorrow. And then we've got another front coming in, another cool down. So our water temperature has already dropped from near 80 all the way down to the upper 60s, right at 70 degrees. That's certainly got all the migrations in motion. It's going to chill down even more before the start of the week. But we'll be back tomorrow to give you an update on that and a whole lot more with a fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing and CSS Landscaping, who is hiring. They're paying top dollar for quality landscapers.
Hey, Rick, man, I have a question for you real quick.
Yeah, man.
So you mentioned sheep's head. They have some gnarly-looking teeth. Can they actually bite you, and have you been bit by a sheep's head before?
My second finger on my right hand says yes.
Okay.
Says without a doubt they can bite you.
Dang.
But,
I've got something else. Is there good news for Austin? Because he doesn't like sharks, so that means the waters are getting cooler. Sharks go away. Is that a myth, or is that real?
Yeah, they're thinning out now. No, it is definitely real. Now, the problem is, in the wintertime, we don't get a lot of sharks, but we get great whites. So that's not necessarily a good thing.
No, I've seen Jaws a couple times.
Well, let me tell you, Jacksonville, the waters off northeast Florida, are actually breeding grounds for right whales. And the right whale calves are the favorite food of one great white shark.
Wow.
A great white shark will literally find a whale in Nova Scotia, and as she migrates south to give birth to her calf off of Jacksonville, Florida, the shark will follow her the whole way.
Wow.
And that's hard to imagine, but that's when we see the great whites here, is when we have the whales calving. That's usually a little later than now. We get them in January and February. But I'll make sure and take Austin fishing as soon as the great whites show up.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Captain Rick.
Bye, guys.
All right, that's the food chain talk right there.
Oh, I like that. And by the way, if you've never seen a sheep's head before, Google sheep's head teeth.
Yeah, they're ugly looking.
Oh man, they're good. They're because I've had a sheep's head sandwich before at a restaurant. Fantastic, mwah, chef's kiss. But they are an ugly looking fish.
Yeah, they are an ugly looking fish. How about that story? I didn't know that about the
following the whales.
The great white. Yeah, I mean,
I know, man.
That's stalking. They should be arrested.
Treating Jacksonville like your own personal Arby's. We have all the meats all of a sudden.
Hey,
that's messed up.
Well, good thing we scheduled a surfing event now.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's
we're in
terrifying.
November. Hey, Captain Rick just said it's more like January.
I'm still terrified.
I'm so terrified.
I'd call out. I'd be like, I'm good.
I mean, it really makes you wonder how they haven't figured out how to walk on land yet. If they're pulling these kind of maneuvers,
It really makes you wonder
how
why
have they
people
walked on
even
land?
go in the ocean.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. It's not for us.
No.
It's not our home.
But have the odds gone up in the shark bite world?
Probably.
Versus, it feels like we get a lot. Like I feel like I see it a lot.
Yeah.
But is that just? But there are also a lot of people that swim in the ocean that don't. You know what I mean? So per capita.
I can tell you next time you're in the TV studio, there is a PowerPoint, because when I worked down there, I remember setting it up on the touchtam. So go look for that PowerPoint. It's like shark bite, what's more likely to happen. And I actually remember the last slide, you're more likely to be killed by a cow. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but you're more likely to be killed by a cow than by a shark bite.
So
I'm not
it's
going to
more
a dairy
dangerous
farm
to go
and
cow tipping.
I guess, man.
According to Action News
I like that,
Jax
Brent.
a couple months ago when I was there.
Yeah, but okay. It's not like I'm surrounded by cows, though, either. You know, like the ocean's the ocean, and there's going to be sharks in there. We're not going to dairy farms and trying to pick a fight with a cow. So, like, those, it's kind of like the whole, well, you got a better chance of being struck by lightning. Well, do I?
That was on the PowerPoint,
yeah,
definitely.
Because when it's storming outside, I'm not staying out there with a golf club holding my arm out in the sky saying, hey, please come get me. When I'm in the ocean, it's like, well, you know.
We just shouldn't be there.
We shouldn't be there.
It is a fair point. I don't know if we shouldn't be there, but it's a fair point that you're probably not going into the cow pasture to go play like two-hand touch football.
True.
But you are going into the shark den.
Yeah.
To go swim.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
like you're putting yourself in the situation.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Now it is one big shark tank.
Yeah.
So.
But isn't it creepy?
That's
Like
why
you
the
never
odds are-
know.
No, that's
there is something. I mean, there's something awesome about swimming in the ocean.
Stressing
There's
out
others
just talking about it.
It's just a matter of how,
hands are getting
mentally
clammy.
weak you are, like Austin seems to be about this
Oh,
subject.
bad choice of
okay.
words.
So mentally weak, okay. It's good to know. I'm sorry, Brent, because last time I checked, I haven't seen any surfing videos of you out there, so you be sure to send me those, Mr. B.A., because I haven't seen you surfing.
Mr. B.A. How about we pick the game?
Yeah, let's do that. Casey, I think you're the...
I suck, yeah. I'm horrible.
You said it, not me.
I'm
but
the worst.
Sorry, man.
And my plan was to just pick kind of risky the rest of the year. But I was kind of depressed last week. So
That's dangerous.
I've changed my mind on that, and I'm going to go for the late night comeback. So with that being said, yeah, you're going to have to give me the Ravens to win the game.
Money line,
All right,
huh?
give us the spread in the over-under, will you?
Yeah, money line.
Already taking the point. Okay. Money line it is.
So the spread would be 8.5.
Ooh, juicy.
And the over-under would be 46. Don't love either of those.
Man.
This will now. You guys both won last week, so it will have to go by fantasy. What happened?
And I think Brent won and I lost. So.
Okay.
I usually win, but I didn't have a great week.
Well, I think you won though, didn't you?
I usually win. He said.
Well, I do. Look how many points I get each week. I mean, there's a reason why I lead the whole league by two games.
Relax though, huh? Because playoffs haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. So far.
Yeah.
I'm about to make some crazy trades.
I'm just telling you facts.
Brent, the guy you just played, had 3 guys that wasn't playing, so let's relax.
That
though,
is
huh?
true. And
Okay.
by the way, in case
he had
played
3 guys on a bye
Marcel, who forgot to put his lineup.
Yeah.
in.
So what are we really saying about this league right now?
My boys are trash. If anybody wants to trade and you're in the league, just send me anything. I'll take it at this point.
I'm saying the grand prize is going to be pretty good if it's true, and keeps going.
Okay.
But anyway, so I get to pick next.
That is correct.
So we think so. So it's 8.5 or 46. 46 even.
46 even.
46 even.
24-23, you win.
See, I kind of like sitting in the last place position all the time.
It's a little tough for me because I actually think the Dolphins are going to cover this. Let me have 5. I haven't gone the over/under since you guys told me I was out of my mind and then I won. So let's go over here.
Yeah.
With the 46 points.
That's what I would have did too. Dang it. All right.
Austin, just want to throw this out there.
Yes.
Both teams 3-5 against the spread. But you know what that means.
Yeah.
But I'll also say that the away team has won against the spread on Thursday Night Football every week but one.
The Dolphins are at home, if you didn't know.
Yeah. I feel like the more I'm reading about it, everyone's taking the Dolphins here with the points.
Why?
I have no idea. Go ahead and give me the Ravens. Yeah.
Smart.
I'm taking the Ravens. Plus, 8, whatever?
8.
Yeah.
Well, minus.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Minus 8. Try to
8.5.
Minus 8.5, Baltimore. Give it to me.
All right.
All right.
So you go in Baltimore. All right, so
Yes.
there it is. Okay, we'll come back. We put a bow on the show. There's been some headlines around the NFL. We got some Thursday night football. I don't know if it will be a good one. Doesn't look great on paper, but hey, there have been many Thursday nights that haven't looked great on paper and been pretty good.
Yeah.
You can listen to the game on ESPN 690, part of our Westwood One coverage. 7 o'clock, we have Jaguars All Access on Fox 30 right here from Strings. Got a good crowd already building here at String Sports Brewery. And don't forget, as I work backwards, Casey and Brian Middleton will have a half-hour Action Sports Shacks Extra coming up in 20 minutes at 6 o'clock on ESPN 690. We'll be right back.
As you count your blessings this holiday season, consider helping local kids and families who need extra support. It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children and helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. And they've done by donating at danielkids.org today.
Sick of big banks drawing money out of Jacksonville? Want your money to stay here and help local folks? At One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, all of our capital is invested back into Northeast Florida. This includes our all-new hometown credit card. You get all the rewards and perks of a big bank, and every swipe invests back in Jacks. Get 2 points for every $1, up to 50,000 bonus points, 24/7 fraud protection, pay with points, and tons more. Support your community with a hometown credit card from One-to-One Financial. Apply at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA, a proud Visa partner.
There's no way that's used. Get ready, because you're going to hear that a lot after you buy an amazing, like-new, pre-owned from our friends over at Arlington Toyota. Arlington's got 300 used available, all makes, all models. Plus, you'll buy with total confidence thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange program that comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
We are here for Magda, a Holocaust survivor.
Things become harder with age.
We are here for Sharonda, who needed parenting support.
I cried out to her. She listened to me.
And we're here for Ashley, who needed to heal.
She helped me feel like I didn't have to be scared.
Jewish Family and Community Services is here for seniors with food, financial assistance, and counseling. JFCS is here for Jax. Visit jfcsjax.org.
Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Owen. I'm a cigarette.
Do you like being a cigarette?
No, I don't. Not really into killing thousands of people. Sorry, no filter.
Right.
What's your sign?
Pisces?
I'm a Cancer. Cigarette joke. But seriously, I do cause cancer. And heart disease. And strokes. I could go on forever. Unlike the people who smoke me.
The average smoker lives 10 years less than non-smokers. Quit today. Find out how at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-519-3035. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-519-3035. That's 800-519-3035. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Know what time it is? It's time to get moving. Cora Physical Therapy has opened a new state-of-the-art clinic in Kingsland on Boone and Haddock, and will be opening another one soon in Brunswick. With Cora, you have access to licensed, passionate clinicians, only the most innovative equipment, and life-changing therapies. Cora is all about treating everyone right now. It's your move. Visit CoraPhysicalTherapy.com for a free screening. No physician's referral required. Same-day appointments available.
From the biggest names in sports,
Justin Herbert, ladies and gentlemen,
to the stories that matter.
The New England Patriots want to play that way. They want to protect
and plenty of opinions.
It's simple. Justin Fields is better, but I'm willing to.
And it starts every morning with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, right here on ESPN Radio.
I talked to Coach early this week. I could get a call at any point here. We're excited. We're excited as a family. If it comes down to a game, I told my wife I'm playing, and then I'll see you at the hospital afterwards. And she knew that. She's been great, but Coach has been understanding with meetings and everything. We'll see what happens. Confident God will time it up the way it's supposed to work out, but we're pretty excited as a family.
Baby number 2 coming for Carson Wentz, and says he's playing in the football game, even if the baby decides to be born on Sunday afternoon. So he will face the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course, on Sunday. That game will be on CBS 47. We'll be in Indianapolis for that one. Busy weekend ahead once again with high school football playoffs. Florida State against Miami. Remember when FSU Miami was like a headliner? You'd be like, this week, and after the last few years, you got to look up who they play this week. Oh, they're playing Miami.
No, for sure. I mean, might as well go ahead and, flex that game to Tuesday or something.
You really could.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, you could.
I'd watch that on Tuesday.
I remember as a kid, like I always say this to people. Like obviously you grew up and you're in like Wisconsin Badger land, right? So it's huge in the whole state. Is there anything that even like invades any of the borders of Wisconsin, or is like everybody Wisconsin is like 100% Badger?
No, I mean it's usually 100% Wisconsin in terms of collegiate fandom. But when you talk about like professional, it's definitely there's some Bears fans that kind of make their way from the South a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, because I mean you share the border with Illinois, so sometimes you get some of those Illinois boys, as they call them, come up there. So that's always back and forth.
But there's no like Fighting Illini fan. That's my like. It's all.
I have yet to meet a Fighting Illini fan. I mean, maybe Smoot, I guess, would be a fan because he played for them, right? He went to Illinois.
Jihad Ward.
But
Shad Khan, Tony Khan.
Yeah, so are they fans? You know, I mean, are they rocking
might just write checks.
Illini gear? I've never seen any Illini gear getting rocked by any of those gentlemen. So I don't know.
So my point in this is, you know, you're in the state of Florida. Like I've worked in different states. So Ohio, everybody loves Ohio State. You can get to a northern pocket, like Toledo area, and there's Michigan fans. Okay.
Yeah.
LSU is all LSU. Like it doesn't bleed over Texas or Alabama or Mississippi. It doesn't. It's just it's all LSU. And Florida obviously is very divided because of so many different schools, but especially Florida State, and Miami. So what I'm getting at here is, like, I don't remember as a kid when I was in my heyday of, like, watching and growing up as a fan and watching every sport possible. Like, even if they put ping pong on TV, I probably would have watched it. Like, seeing the Gators. Like, to me, they weren't, like, this wow brand.
Yeah.
To me, it was FSU, and it was Miami. Like, because you know why? That's the game that was, like, on ABC on a Saturday night with Keith Jackson calling the game. You know, so that's the one. Now, I also remember Nebraska, Oklahoma, and those kind of games. And so Nebraska is totally different in that respect now. But just from a guy in New England, a Rhode Island kid that loves sports, that really college football doesn't weigh heavy on anybody in that area of the country. It's always interesting to me because by the time I think the Gators got rocking and rolling under Spurrier, well, then I was like late high school on my way to college type stuff. So, like, if you're thinking like 96 Gators and Warfel and Spurrier and all those, well, I was in college, and I don't remember watching a whole heck of a lot other than Sosa and McGuire square off.
No, for sure. I mean, coming from the Midwest, it was all about, the teams that were playing for championships. And, it was Florida State a little bit. But I mean, as a kid, I distinctly remember Miami and just the power of the U and just the whole brand that was the U, because it didn't matter if you were in Florida or if you're in Wisconsin. Like, wearing that logo, it was the cool thing to do regardless of where you lived, just because of, what they stood for and the swagger that they had. So I remember I had some Miami Hurricane stuff. Did you really? Yeah, I had a pair of Miami Hurricane Zumbas, and I had a pair of Miami Hurricane pajamas.
Zumbas?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I ended up getting, like, my grandma bought me some, like, on a rummage sale for, like, I don't know, like a quarter. So I had a pair of Hurricane Zumbas, and then I also had, like when they used to do, like, the Looney Tunes characters with different, like, logos, I had a Bugs Bunny and Tasmanian Devil, like, Miami Hurricane shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
It does show you, though. I mean, I think you're right about that. And I think Miami was more like that. Miami was in that sense like the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like if you didn't have an NFL team, like you might wear something like that, the Lakers or whoever. FSU didn't carry that, I don't think. Like I didn't see as much gear for FSU, but I would like randomly kind of the same way see people wearing Miami Hurricane stuff. I'm not sure it was Zumbas or not. I get your point. We grew up in that stage too. But FSU didn't seem to carry that, but you knew they were always on TV. You knew they were good. Like, you knew what Bobby Bowden looked like. You knew who he looked like. You knew Charlie Ward. You knew these things, even if you weren't from here. Yeah. And that's what, for everybody from here that grew up around college football, that's like a hard thing to kind of understand because, like, it's in your blood. Like, you grew up around this all the time. Like, you can name everybody, and you're like, what do you mean it wasn't a big deal in Rhode Island? Well, listen, college football just not a big deal in Rhode Island. I mean, you get Notre Dame because of the Catholics, so you have Brown and against Harvard, and you have Doug Flutie in Boston College for a minute. That was about it. So It's just it's really interesting to me because since I've left Rhode Island, I've been in a few hotbeds of college football: Ohio, Louisiana, and of course now in Florida. So pretty wild. Hey, let's end the show. Quick little baseball talk. And Casey, I shared this with you. Scott Boras said that the tanking is bad. The tanking is why the Atlanta Braves won the World Series and have built this. And also said, like, the trade deadline is bad in big league baseball because it allows a team to rebuild its roster the way Atlanta did. I don't think I agree with Boras. Now, Boras is crazy, right? Boras has ruined more about baseball most likely because if you're a player, you love him because he'll get the most money. But you can make the case he's ruined baseball on a lot of levels. Like, you can build that argument. And by the way, if you don't know who Scott Boras is, like, he is like the big agent in baseball, like the agent. Everybody's got him, and he
sounds
gets
like a Bond villain, but okay. Scott Boras.
Yeah, I mean, he can be, depending on how you look at it, he is one of the villains of baseball. But again, if you're a player, everybody signs up with him because he's going to get you the most money. So I just think it was I think Casey put bad take, and I would agree. Like, I think the trade deadline is actually a good thing for Major League Baseball. I don't view it. It was interesting to hear that because I was like, I don't view that as a bad thing. Hey, you still have a chance to compete. What do you want to do? Play the last 2 months where, like, you don't care about it? Or you can kind of replenish your team a little bit, fill in some injuries, and now you have more teams that can do that and potentially be in the mix.
Yeah, and I put this as an outstandingly bad take because Scott Boras is a clown. And I don't understand why they keep letting him, like, speak in front of microphones. It's just ridiculous. Like, who cares? You're an agent. Nobody cares what you have to say about the game itself. Like, you represent the players, but you're obviously not a player, coach, or GM. By the way, every sport has a trade deadline, and all the teams try to make their teams better. And the season's 100.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. Like, the NFL, no deadline is as impactful as Major League Baseball. I mean, you just saw the trade deadline in the NFL. I mean, who did what? Nobody really did anything.
The Rams didn't get better?
Okay, Rams well, we'll see. They got Von Miller, yeah, and now they just had Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, that's my point.
Okay, so that's like one. Like, not everybody. I mean, like, there were like 3 moves made.
Yeah, but every year you have the opportunity to make your team better in every sport.
I got you.
Yeah.
So to say that is ridiculous. And then he goes on the article to say, he pretty much says, I don't know what I'm talking about. And then he goes, by the way, you should pay Chris Bryant and Carlos Rondon millions of dollars because I represent them.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So what are we doing?
I mean, the rest of the article was kind of like, if you see if you could read the quotes, we don't have time to do it, but it's like, did he really just say that? It's really weird. Some of it's weird. But I think the overall story is you got a powerful guy in baseball, not really like making the rules or anything, but certainly tipping the scales of how people are paid and luxury tax stuff and everything else, and saying the trade deadline's bad. I totally disagreed with him. And what caught my attention, Austin and Casey, is the fact that he's got what's his name? The Yankee guy. Who's the Yankee ace?
Garrett Cole.
Cole.
Yes, he does.
So he's got Garrett Cole, and Cole lost like the playoff game. So he got all this money for Cole, and you could have had the 100-win team or whatever participate in the World Series if his client pitched a little better down the stretch.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to be complaining if his guys get traded to a better situation, by the way.
That's
because I'm sure
too.
he's working that. Chris Bryant got traded to a better situation, so I'm sure he had nothing to do with that. Dude's a clown.
Yeah, he's a monster.
I don't like the dude.
He's a monster.
I mean, I don't know anything about him, but I'm not very impressed so far what I've been hearing.
Well, no, I think he's very villain-type character, and I don't think he's good for the sport overall.
Would you buy him a beer, Brent? Would you put him on the board?
No.
Oh.
I got to put somebody on the board, but there might not be room on the board. I'll go check and I'll tweet it out. So if somebody's going on the board, I'll put it up. I forgot to look at that. All right, that's going to do it. We will, Casey and Brian has Action Sports Jacks Extra coming up at 6 o'clock, so stay tuned. More on ESPN 690. 7 o'clock, turn on your TV, Fox 30 for Jaguars All Access. And then Westwood One coverage of the NFL tonight, Ravens and Dolphins, right here on ESPN 690 as well. All right, fellas, have a good one. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Sounds good, man. Have a good night.
Extreme Wings on Roosevelt Boulevard. Come on out, say hello tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Have a good night.
Never know how. When you buy the Napa bag for 99 cents, you'll get 20% off 3 or more items. No other bag saves you 20% on wipers, premium oil, headlamps, and more, which makes the Napa bag the best bag in the world. Sorry, handbags, man bags, punching bags, bagpipes, and even you, bags out of the eyes. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, does not include taxes and fees. Advertised sale price not available in some states. Offer ends 11/30/21.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you, so you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Can health insurance be a doorway to a healthier life? To yoga classes? To nutrition classes? To nurses you don't need an appointment to see? Or even community specialists who give you access to helpful resources? It can. Our Florida Blue Centers offer all that and a whole lot more. All you have to do is walk through the door. What else can health insurance do? Find out at floridablue.com. Florida Blue, your local Blue Cross Blue Shield. Florida Blue is a trade name of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, Inc.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper, so many flavors to choose from. And of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wings Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wings Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks.
I remember my son was going to grow up without a father.
I didn't think someone at 23 could be diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was probably the healthiest I had been in my life.
Early detection of a melanoma saved my life.
I survived testicular cancer because of early detection.
I survived cancer not once but twice because of early detection.
During the pandemic, you may have delayed or canceled routine cancer screenings. It's time to get those appointments back on the books.
Early detection saves lives.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Got a business trip, long weekend, or maybe you just really want to try that new Toyota before you buy it? Then get it all when you rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. With easy online reservations and rental rates as low as $19.95 a day, there's nothing stopping you from hitting the open road in a new 2021 Toyota. So rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Try it before you buy it and reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
The COVID-19 vaccine, there's so much news about it, but what's true and what's not? Before you pass on its protection, get all the facts. Elder Source can help with a free workshop given at your church or organization. Learn how the vaccine works, potential side effects, and where you can get a free one. Encourage your church or organization's leadership to book a free workshop by visiting myeldersource.org/COVID.
Oh, total wine, how wondrous a selection. Fine gifts galore and so much more, and else to answer questions. Wine, spirits, beer, how lovely are the prices here.
Now offering delivery in select markets. See details at TotalWine.com/delivery. Drink responsibly, B21.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
30 more minutes. Let's do it. Casey Kurtz, Brian Middleton. Changed my mind, by the way. Didn't tell Brent. Overtime we're going with. So.
Is it overtime?
Yeah, I made that decision.
All right.
On my own, by the way. Are you good with overtime?
This is your show, man. This is your show.
No, it's a we thing. It's a we thing. So, yeah, we're going with overtime. Action Sports, Jax, overtime. ESPN 690 will go till 6:30. About 28 minutes. Talk some little bit of everything. Might get it started here, though. Veterans Day is today. And somehow, a lot going on today, in fairness, from 3 to 6. But just want to give a shout out to the veterans for all that they do and have done for the country as a whole. I don't take that lightly. So shout out to the veterans. We appreciate you here on ESPN 690, not just from 6 to 6:30, from 3 to 6, from 12 to 6, from 6 to 12. What I'm getting at is all 24 hours. We appreciate the veterans. Brian Middleton, Casey Kurtz, ESPN 690. Brian, what up with you, man?
Hey, man, let me just piggyback real quick, man. Also, a special thanks to everybody who's in the active military,
Good call.
reserves, and all the vets out there, including my dad. Imagine a dude that's 6'3 and a half, 6'4" on a submarine. He was a G.
Wow.
Joined the military when he was 16. Yeah, it was a different time back then. So, yeah, man, big shout out to everybody on Veterans Day. Definitely salute you guys each and every day.
How you said your dad was 6'3", 6'4", or is?
Yeah, he might be like 6'2" now and starting to shrink a little bit. But, yeah, he was at the time 6'3 and a half, give or take, how high his hair was.
Good, like that. And you are 6. For those that don't know, Brian Middleton is ducking when he comes through the doors. How tall are you?
With my hair now, I'm about 6'8 and a half. I just got measured. But, if I got a regular low haircut style, probably around 6'7", right at the 6'8" mark.
Wow. That is incredible stuff. Yeah, I bet he did hit his head a couple times on a submarine. That just seems like a reasonable thing that would happen. Did you ever get to go on a submarine? I know we're off, but.
No, I never did. And at this point, unless it's I don't see a reason that I would need to see. I hear how cramped it is.
Well,
I know I would knock my head loose if I got on a submarine. But
I didn't know if there was take your kid to the submarine day.
No, no. I'm sure there is, but I never went on the sub.
That's fair enough. So yeah, I appreciate the veterans' active service. All of it on Veterans Day and every day. But this is ESPN 690, so let's talk some sports. One thing we don't talk a lot of from 3 to 6 is basketball. Rumor is that's your favorite sport, and you like to dribble up and down the court.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite sport.
More of a reference, but.
Favorite sport. What I would say is the college football and the NBA are 1 and 1A, and then the NFL is right there. It's right there, but you have to put 2. I don't want to give it a 1B. So, yeah, I definitely do enjoy the NBA. Basketball in general.
Yeah. I like college basketball. I am not the world's biggest NBA fan. The NBA is the only sport for me that, and I'm sure people feel this way about baseball, potentially even hockey. The NBA is the only sport for me that I strictly only care about certain players. And I don't know why, but that's just what it, I never really had allegiance to an NBA team. I just liked a certain team because the player, and then they cut my guy Carmelo, and I was like, nah, forget the Rockets. So anyway, that's my kind of thoughts with the NBA. College basketball, though, we'll get back to the NBA here in a second. College basketball, I want to tell you about what happened to me, though. This would have been Tuesday night, opening night of college basketball. And things didn't go well for me on the weekend, betting-wise. And what I did was I took a few games, parlayed them, as they say. And there were some no-brainers. I thought Ohio State could beat Akron. I thought Houston could beat Hofstra. Where is Hofstra?
I don't know. Should I look that up?
No,
Just Google.
it's
like
not
Ohio.
It's not. I don't know. It's not even worth it. I
That's
thought
in New York.
Really?
Isn't it?
I have no idea. Let's find
Okay,
out.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hofstra. Yeah, we don't know. But the point of the story is, I thought they could beat. I thought Houston could beat them. Okay, I thought. There's one more. Clemson. I thought they could beat Presbyterian. Those are the three things I thought could happen, since it was pretty obvious. Ohio State needs a buzzer beater to beat Akron.
Yeah.
How in the world?
Happens. It happens.
Does it, though?
Apparently. Happened Tuesday.
Unbelievable. Houston, by the way, the Houston Cougars, I don't even know how this happened. They're down like 13 with 6 minutes to play, and they goof around, get to overtime, and I said, I was standing there. I stood in one spot for the whole second half because I felt the good mojo in my house. It was like a really awkward spot to stand, but there I was on my phone watching the game. And I said, if Houston can get this game to overtime, they win because they're just better. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, Hofstra can't, they had to win in regulation. And Houston hit a big three to get it to overtime, and they end up winning by, it looks like 8. But, man, that was stressful. So here's what I've learned. I said on Wednesday morning when everything came through, because I also had UCLA in this scenario, but they, when I went to bed, they were up like 20 and they won 95-58. So when I woke up Wednesday morning, I said, I'm never betting on college basketball again. I've already bet on college basketball again.
There you go. Some people would call that a problem. But, for you, I just say you're not a quitter.
I'm not a quitter. So that's the college basketball scenario. The local teams are off and running. FSU, we are not necessarily local, but we are the official station right here in Jacksonville of FSU. Men pick up a win over Penn last night, 105-70. The women picked up win number 1 over UNF, unfortunately.
Boy, did they? My goodness, it got out of pocket.
Yeah, it did, but what do you expect?
Yeah, it was, looking at some of the highlights on there and hearing the coach afterwards, his thoughts were my thoughts exactly. They were just, the size was just, it was too much. It was just too much across the board, and it really made UNF uncomfortable in that game, from what I could tell.
Yeah, no, for sure. But, I mean, look, it's UNF and it's FSU. But it is what it is on that front. The UNF men have dropped their first 2, but that's not really any fault of theirs. They played Texas Tech in night 1 and Texas A&M, I believe, last night.
Yeah.
JU 1-0. I'm trying to remember who they beat.
Well, the women, they beat Minnesota.
Yes, they did.
The men beat Trinity Baptist.
Yep, that's right. That's
I was like,
right.
Isn't that a high school in the high school football? Don't they have a good high school football team? But that's Trinity Christian.
Yeah, that is Trinity Christian.
But, yeah, big shout-out to the JU women's, man, because that win, they traveled 1,500 miles north to go up there, get their money from Minnesota.
Yeah, they did.
And get the win, just all the way around. And, the interesting part about that as well is that the preseason polls have the JU women, like, near the bottom, like, tied for, like, last place in the ASUN.
Right.
So to get that win right there, they may be doing something this year. I'm going to be very interested to see how that goes moving forward. Taylor Hawks, 15 points, 6 assists. He was a problem out there. So, yeah, it really was a big win for the JU women.
Take that, Golden Gophers. Yeah. Stick it to them. Not a JU fan due to the fact, let me finish the sentence, due to the fact that I am a graduate of the University of North Florida, the Ospreys, UNF. But I'm a good media member. I support everyone. So JU, Golden Gophers, take that. And I don't care about Minnesota at all, so I'm all for it. Yeah, that is a cool win, even if, Minnesota, say what you want. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how good their women's basketball team is. But on name recognition alone, old JU coming in and stomping on you. Love it. Love it. We got a lot more to do here. We got some thoughts on the NBA. We got some locks for the weekend. We're going to do all of that when we come back. Stay with us. Brian Middleton, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Jacks Overtime, ESPN 690. We will be right back.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690. A few scattered showers into this evening. Rather warm tonight under partly cloudy skies. Later on will only drop to near 60 degrees. Partly sunny skies for Friday. It'll be mild. Highs reach the upper 70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
In today's world, there's a lot of ways to know what's happening. At Action News Jax, we make sure our local stories have more detail, so you get every angle that impacts you. We dig for answers because you deserve the whole story. Taking time to provide context so you're clear on what's really going on. Because we know information is thrown at you 24/7, and we want you to know that Action News Jax is local coverage you can count on.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Don't let a cold keep you up. Take NyQuil Severe for max strength relief for your worst cold and flu symptoms so you can rest tonight and get back at it tomorrow. NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief for your worst cold and flu symptoms. NyQuil Severe temporarily relieves common cold and flu symptoms, including cough, sore throat, headache, minor aches and pains, fever, runny nose, and sneezing. NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed.
Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on wiper blades, headlight bulbs, and more. Right now, get up to a $20 gift card after mail-in rebate with the purchase of select Sylvania bulbs. Plus, earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Get ready for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Fantasy football taking the minds of some.
It's terrible over here, man.
Yeah.
I told you earlier, man. Last week, I'm down my QB1.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
Yep.
I'm down my running back one, even though he just got reactivated, David Montgomery. I'm down DeAndre Hopkins, my number one wide receiver. And I lost to somebody who you told me that he cares. I don't think he really cares about this season.
Yeah.
And he only had one win until he had two. I'm about to wreck this whole league. Fire sale. Who wants him?
I do.
Talk to me off air.
Off air, yeah. They'll get me for tampering, though, in my own league. Can't have that. ESPN 690, Brian Middleton, Casey Kurtz. And, yeah, that's fantasy football talk. We'll do more of that as we go along throughout the rest of the football season. But right now, there's something on Brian's mind. And I don't 100% know what it is. So that does scare me because I'm very far away from the dump button. But
whoa, okay.
Just you know how that thing works, right?
Hey, listen, I can't multitask.
Oh, now I'm scared. So there's something on his mind. It's been weighing on his mind. I really don't know what it is, but I'm eager to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And I've waited long enough. Brian Middleton, what's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Listen, I wanted to do something a bit more, a bit more timely. But the way that our show is set up, this is when I could get to it. So I'm going to need the NBA, the entire association, to come to the front of the class for a moment, okay? So when I was thinking about exactly how I wanted to talk about something today, I had a couple of great options, right? I could talk about Golden State's fast start with their 10-1 record, or even the fact that the Washington Wizards are leading the Eastern Conference early in the NBA season. That's amazing. That's a good story. I even thought about going in depth about my hypothesis that the way that Mac Jones twisted Brian Burns' ankle last Sunday, because I am a Panthers fan, made me think how I think that Vontaze Burfict was somewhere smiling. Honestly, it's
a good point.
It's a Vontaze Burfict move. Okay,
it was. I agree with you.
But the egregious nature of the NBA and the treatment of their reigning MVP has me right for the wear, and I'm fed up, okay? So you probably know what I'm already talking about, but let me just recap really quickly, okay?
Please do.
Denver and Miami earlier this week, deep in the fourth quarter, the Nuggets are blowing out the Heat, and Nikola Jokic was bringing the ball down the court, setting up the pass, when all of a sudden the Heat's Markieff Morris straight up fouls him.
Who's still in the league, by the way.
Yeah.
For those that don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? He ran into him with a stiff forearm. If a non-basketball play was a person, it would be Morris at that very moment. But then he proceeds to turn his back, and the Joker, you know what he does? He runs full gallop at him and basically sends him flying, okay? So then a bit of a melee ensued, and at the end of it, the Joker leaves the game. Morris finally gets up from the fetal position, and he leaves the game as well, trying to adjust his neck from the whiplash. Well, I knew at that point that was going to result in a fine or a suspension for both players because, you know, the NBA culture of today. But to my disappointment, the Joker, the MVP of the league, the one who did not initiate this entire ordeal, was the one to get a one-game suspension. Yeah. Morris, on the other hand, he just got a $50,000 fine. I say just because contracts are stupid out there. Okay?
Only 15.
The Joker, who got suspended for that one game, which was yesterday, he lost $210,000 for missing yesterday's game against the Pacers. That's crazy, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. So I need to know what in the corruption is going on around here. Okay, my cousin always told me growing up two things, all right? If someone hits you, hit them back, right?
Okay, yeah.
And fair. Never let your wife's needs get in the way of what your girlfriend wants. And I tell you what, I'm with them, okay? So listen, I'm 1,000% okay with what the Joker did in retaliation. 1,000% okay with it. I'm 1,000,000% not okay with what the NBA did in handing out punishment. Markieff Morris will know better than to try the MVP again because he sees that the Joker isn't to be messed with. But who is going to be able to deal with the NBA rules? Because this kind of nonsense of not suspending both parties involved for this is messed up. I don't like it one bit. So, you know, NBA, tighten up. Casey, thank you for letting me rant.
No problem. Markieff Morris, by the way, is apparently only 32 years old.
Really?
Right. Now, here's how long has he been in the league? Yeah, since 2011. See, that doesn't equal up to me. 2011 and 32. You know, you get what I'm saying there?
Did they leave early? I feel like they did. Weren't they at Florida?
Nah.
No, I'm thinking of Pouncey. Sorry.
Yeah, you're thinking of Pouncey. Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas. My bad. I get them mixed up, man.
He played till he was a junior. Like, what the heck? Huh. That just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, interesting situation that happened there. I did see that, by the way. I said I don't watch a lot of NBA. I did see that happen. I like your take. That's why we employed you here for the NBA takes right here on ESPN 690. That was Brian Middleton. You can follow him on Twitter, by the way, at the Broadcast Dawn. How does that happen?
Yeah, you'd be one of like 25, though.
You'd be one of 25. Club. It is, but the takes are fire. You can follow him there. You can follow me, Kay Kurtz, as well. If you listen from 3 to 6, you know I'm very, very concerned about that. Let's stay with the NBA, Brian. Find the sound on the computer because earlier today, before Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 from 3 to 6, we got Barton Hahn taking us right up to 3 on ESPN 690. And I came in, was working on some stuff for the show, and I heard this argument playing out on their show, and I thought it was fascinating. So if we can, I want to play a little bit of that, and then I want to hear, Brian, your take on it because it is an NBA argument, if you will. I got some thoughts. I want to hear yours, so if you can, play that for us.
Jordan struck first when he made that little, can I say candy ass? Candy ass, that's a right.
You can say it once.
It's a wrestling term, so it don't matter, because that's The Rock. And Rock, everybody love The Rock. So I can say what The Rock can say. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he made this little documentary that was all about him, and he tried to disguise it based on a team type of thing where everybody was going to be happy, and he was taking slights at me. I'm tired of taking slights and being a bigger person. You know what? Let me tell you, Jordan was selfish. Yeah, guess what? He played with a damn cold. Guess what? I played with a herniated disc. You tell me which is better. I want my respect, too. I want my love, too. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Will Smith. When he was sitting there, he was like, because, he never taught me how to play basketball, but I got pretty damn good, right? And I'm giving you 100 because ain't nothing he can tell me about being the greatest all time. Why they don't love me, man? Why nobody love me? Talking about Robin. How you gonna be Robin if he's the top 50 player of all time? Like, it is no Robbins.
On that team, he was.
It is no Robbins. That's disrespectful again. See, people don't even understand their unforeseen bias. Don't call me Robin.
You really want to blow up this segment by going there? Because he's the greatest Robin of all time.
No, I'm the great.
Okay. When Batman went to play baseball, how did Robin do?
I'm not anybody's
Robin couldn't beat the villains.
Bro,
he couldn't beat the villains. The Joker got him. He needed Batman to come back.
Don't see that. You don't understand.
It's the truth.
You don't understand the disrespect in that analogy.
It's not disrespectful.
Yes, it is.
You're one of the greatest supporting stars.
Don't call me Robin. I'm not a supporting cast. I'm a co-host. I'm a co-anchor. I'm a co-star. Don't call me no sidekick. It's disrespectful to call somebody a sidekick. That means they're less than. That means they're half than. Like, listen, when you talk about the Marvels, everybody know that, Thor and all those guys are up there, but you don't hear them talking down to the Hulk. You don't hear them talking down to Iron Man, right? No, you just call me one of the Avengers. You don't call me no damn Batman.
So, yeah, Barton Hahn earlier today. Honestly, there's a lot to digest there. I love the fact that he called them the Marvels, by the way.
Oh, wow.
But he makes a great point, and I had never considered it because obviously in this context, I'll give it a little more. That was only 2 minutes of about a 5 or 6 minute conversation. They were discussing that during The Last Dance, Michael Jordan made it about him. The Last Dance was about Michael Jordan, let's be honest. Scottie Pippen has now wrote a book and kind of gave his own thoughts of how those things turned out that were portrayed in The Last Dance. So there's some butting of the heads. Obviously, where Bulls fans are going to keep their loyalties, and that is with Michael Jordan. But it's an interesting conversation saying that calling him Robin is disrespectful. And when I first heard it, I thought, man, you're crazy. But then when I listened to the argument, I'm like, he makes a great point. Because Robin and Batman, I'm a Batman fan, were not equals.
Mm-mm.
They weren't.
Absolutely not.
And I never considered it that way. So taking what you just heard and what you know, by the way, just for some reference, when Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were doing the thing, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I'm going to tell you I was negative years old. You don't have to tell the people how old you were.
Okay.
You can if you so choose.
Yeah.
But
I was pushing through first. I think by the time they really got to the second, when they got to the second 3P, I was getting to elementary school.
So I was negative.
Yeah.
But you're an NBA guy.
96, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was maybe like a month or two. You understand how the whole dynamic worked. Yeah, I'm assuming you watched The Last Dance. Your thoughts on what Bart Scott said right there?
Okay, yeah, but you're right. There was a lot to digest right there. Bart Scott, sometimes he has some wild takes, but that was very entertaining. I will say that, yeah, that was a very nice sleight of hand by your boy Michael Jordan, probably the third greatest to ever touch a basketball in the NBA.
I forgot about that.
And so, man, it's a great sleight of hand by Michael Jordan. It was entertaining, by the way, but Scottie Pippen said, listen, man, listen, I had to hear your mouth all those years I was with you. I had to play in your shadow then. And then everybody seems to forget about me, minus some rap lyrics that say Jordan and Pippen over the years since. I got to deal with my wife or my ex-wife. She was out here. She was out here, huh? She was playing too. She was doing a lot of playing out here in my personal life.
Yeah.
And then you come with The Last Dance and it's COVID and we in quarantine? Nah, bro. Where's my memoir? Where's my memoir? I got to start writing and letting people know what it really was because the truth will always hold true. Scottie Pippen would not be as great if he did not play with Michael Jordan.
Agreed.
Michael Jordan did not win one championship without Scottie Pippen right there playing great. So good for Scottie. I like it. It's entertaining. And I think that it does hold true. I think Scottie has a right to be upset, but I do think the arguments that he is making currently is probably a little off. He could just go to the track record and just go and show how he performed when MJ was there and how it helped even when MJ had terrible performances. Because believe it or not, he did have terrible performances in big games. But I digress.
I like that. And I think I forgot, let's start there, forgot that you have some kind of thing against Michael Jordan.
I have nothing against Michael.
Yes, you do.
I have nothing against Michael Jordan. Nothing against him. I'm just saying that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is better than him, whether we're talking about college or the pros, in just about every stat. It's not like he didn't win just as many championships.
Right.
Actually, I think Jordan has one more. I believe, yeah, he does have one more championship than Kareem. But we're talking about MVPs. We're talking about the overall scoring champ. Like, if I am Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I definitely am like, yeah, I'm just as good, if not better than Michael Jordan. And we all know LeBron, we're watching the greatest right now, but I'm not getting into that with you right now because we have some other stuff to touch on.
Because you're going to have to get into it because now I'm bringing it up. You said third.
Yeah, quite possibly the third. Yeah, absolutely.
So for those that don't know, number one would be, you just said it, but
LeBron Ramon James Sr. Yes, sir.
And that is just wild.
Raymone.
Is that how you spell it?
I think so.
I think so.
Feels good.
You can't even spell it. You can't even do a
right.
quick Google search.
I feel like I'm in the moment. Come on now, keep moving.
Oh my goodness. So there's even a lot to digest there. I don't know. I came in and I heard that and I thought it was fascinating. Bart Scott, Alan Hahn on Bart and Scott, Bart and Hahn. Goodness gracious. You can hear that from 12 to 3 on ESPN 690 right before Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 from 3 to 6. And then Mondays and Thursdays, you got us from 6 until 6:30. We're almost out of time, and I had a big, elaborate plan. We were going to do these locks of the weekend, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was the plan. I didn't communicate as well as I should have to you about the plan, so I'm calling an audible on the fly from the original plan that I told you about like 2 minutes ago in there. So there's a new plan.
Okay.
We're going to start the locks of the weekend next Thursday.
All right.
What we're going to do now is I'm going to tell you a couple things, and you're going to tell me, because for those that don't know, the broadcast on Brian Middleton, during our World Series pregame, called every single game correctly, as well as some college football games.
Absolutely. Talk that talk.
Yeah.
Talk that talk, Casey Kurt.
So you got to back it up.
Give me my flowers, Casey Kurtz.
You got to back it up now. Here's the thing. So we're going to touch on a couple of quick things, and then we're going to get out of here. FSU Miami. Who's winning? Sorry.
I was about to say both are going to have new head coaches. My bad.
Dramatic pause. Oh my goodness, Mike Norvell's the guy. Don't give me that.
No, I like him. I don't know if they're going to give him enough time to really get everything the way that he probably wants it. That's all I'm saying. Oh, you asked me to call that game, though. FSU Miami?
Yep.
I mean, I'll go with Miami. Where is it at? Is it in Tallahassee?
Tallahassee.
Okay, I'll go with Miami. Yeah.
You don't sound happy about it.
Yeah, I'll go with Miami.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way as well. One more college football game, and no research done here, by the way, so I'll give you what I know. NC State is the number 21 ranked team in the country. They're going to Wake Forest, number 13. Wake Forest just lost to North Carolina. NC State just beat Florida State. Wake Forest does a lot of the offense, not a lot of the defense. NC State does a whole lot of the defense, a little bit of offense. Who's winning the game?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with the Wolfpack, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Wolfpack. Let's go.
You're doing a lot of guessing right now.
Yeah, well, I don't, yeah.
You don't know. Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
NC State and Miami.
Yeah, I like both of those picks as well. Go to the NFL. I'm going to give you 3, and then we're going to get out of here. Okay? So there's 2 obvious ones. I'm going to give you a random one, and that random one I'm giving you is going to be the New England Patriots. I'm going to give you a chance to Mac Jones's mom, by the way, friend of the program, so be careful. Patriots, Browns in New England.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So should have told me that before my rant. Thanks, Casey. Yeah, I would say that.
She's a nice lady.
Okay, well, forgive me. Cleveland Browns are probably going to take that. It's in Foxborough, right?
Yes.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah, absolutely. Cleveland Browns.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're going to get – I think Dearness Johnson is going to get the carries again. I know that the defense I know Bill Belichick is getting that defense rounding into shape the way that he likes it. But I think that with that solid running game, I think that that's going to play in the Browns' favor. I mean, there's nothing in the way of extenuating circumstances other than that I feel like is going to affect Cleveland. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Cleveland on that.
The Jacksonville Jaguars will go to Indianapolis. Carson Wentz will not be there when his child is born because he needs to do what? Win or lose against the Jags. I'm loud.
I can bump you down if you want to keep
No.
yelling. Okay. All right.
Who's winning the game?
I would say that Jacksonville gets 2 in a row. And I don't know what the history is on that. When's the last time they lost 2 games in a row? And I don't do that with the Jags. I'm as big of a critique of the Jags as anybody. So I think they're going to go there and get a second win. As long as Trevor is still healthy, which I think by all accounts he was, and he's fine, I think that they are almost playing with house money. Like, they know, again, the expectation, people want you to win, but they don't need you to win. But there's momentum there. So I definitely think that Jacksonville makes it 2 in a row for the first time probably since 2019, 2018.
Well, definitely wasn't 2020. Because they only won once. So, yeah. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Interesting. He's taken the Jags. Last one is a game you're going to hear right here in about an hour and a half, and that would be the Ravens heading down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. It sounds kind of obvious. I picked the Ravens from 3 to 6, Action Sports Jacks, ESPN 690. Are you willing to take the Dolphins?
Yeah, the Ravens are such a like an enigma. In the beginning, I was just like, oh man, Lamar Jackson's going to be able to carry this team, but how many injuries can the Ravens sustain? And after a while, it seemed like it doesn't matter. You got Lamar Jackson, and that probably is still the case to a certain degree when you're playing a team like Miami. Who is the backup now? Jacoby Brissett?
Jacoby Brissett will start, yeah.
Oh man, he's good. He's good, but he's not good. But he's good. You know what I mean? It's like that weird, like he's good. Like
he's serviceable.
Yeah, it's like oh man. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I don't have it in me to go with the Dolphins. It's in Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely the Ravens then. Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the way I heard it was Ravens, Jags, Browns, NC State, Miami. Is that correct?
Right. I reserve the right to change my choices after the game result.
I don't know if we're going to let you do that, but
all right.
You heard it here. He hasn't been wrong yet. We'll find out if he is going to be wrong this time. That's it for us. Action Sports Jacks, calling it overtime or extra. I think we're going with overtime. But we appreciate you listening. We, as in me and Brian Middleton, will be back on Monday talking about the things that happened. You can flip your TV right now, though. Feel free. Fox 30, Jaguars All Access is coming up with our very own Brent Martineau, so you can tune into that one. You can stay with Fox 30 to watch Thursday Night Football, the Ravens and the Dolphins, or you can just go, get in your car, sit in the driveway, listen to it right here on ESPN 690. 3 to 6 tomorrow, Austin Lane, Brent Martineau, myself. 9 to 10:30 tomorrow, the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Brent Martineau, myself, the Hall of Famer, head coach, Coach Kevin Sullivan, will be here. Then the Friday Night Blitz on TV. It's the playoffs. High school football is wrapping up, but the playoffs are going to be exciting, and we got a lot of opportunities for teams to win big this season. Brian Middleton, we'll holler at you on Monday. Have a good weekend.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy